Both teams name unchanged sides from the first leg. So Onana back in, having stayed at home for the trip to St James's Park at the weekend. Back three for Manchester United of Nusir Mazraoui, Harry Maguire and Lenny Yoro. Dorgu at left wing back, Dalot at right wing back, Casemiro alongside Ugarte in the centre, with Garnacho and Fernandes behind Rasmus Højlund. Højlund, who's never lost a Europa League game. For Lyon, Lucas Perry, their Brazilian goalkeeper. Back four, Maitland-Niles, once of Arsenal, Clinton Mata, Moussa Niakhaté, once of Forest, Nicolas Tagliafico at left back. Then in midfield, Jordan Veretout, once of Aston Villa, Paul Akayuoko, the Ivorian international who played well in the first leg, Corentin Tolisso, once of Bayern Munich, as the captain. And then a front three, Thiago Almada, George Mikotadze and Ryan Cherki, who's arguably the best player in the visitors' team. We're underway. The smoke from the pyrotechnics still visible in the air. You can smell the fumes. Daylight still in the air, and a lot of noise here as Old Trafford tries to propel Manchester United into the semi-final of the Europa League. Manchester United are playing from right to left in this first half, attacking the Stretford end. So that means that Lyon won the toss, because usually Manchester United like to play this way in the second period.
Yep, Tolisso won the toss, turned the Manchester United side around. Lyon kicking to our right towards their own fans, who actually incidentally haven't filled out the away section. They're making the most noise, but there are a few spare seats over there to our right.
Do you know what? I looked at that, Paul, and do you know what I think is? I think they have sold their allocation, but they're not sitting in the seats. They are crowding in. So let's say every row could have 50 people. They've got 75 people on that row. All the empty seats are at the back. They've all just pushed forward to pack together. I mean, look, you can't see the aisles. They're all just, you know, they've turned it into a terrace effectively.
It feels like the press box then, doesn't it?
We are squeezed in like jelly deals here in the Manchester United press box. You know it's a big game when absolutely every seat is taken here. No room to stretch out. Manchester United 0-0 on the night, 2-2 on aggregate. Harry Maguire rolls the ball across to Nusir Mazraoui. Lyon, who've slightly had to alter their kit. They can't wear all white because of Manchester United's white shorts, so they've got dark shorts this evening, but otherwise the regular first choice kit for Lyon is Yoro, who scored in the first leg, comes up over the halfway line and plays a 1-2 with Rasmus Højlund, and then Tolisso's in to challenge him, and Manchester United hold on to possession, but they're back inside their own half.
I think it's a big night for Rasmus Højlund. You look at his goal scoring this season, he's done extremely well in the Europa League, scored 5 goals in the Europa League, and his goal involvements for Manchester United and recently in the Europa League has been good. And I think the thing that hasn't helped Rasmus Højlund is that he's been in and out of the side. Granted, he's not scored the amount of goals that you would have expected, but with the injury to Joshua Zirkzee now, you would think his frame of mind is, I've got a run at this, I've got a chance. If I play well tonight, I'm going to play, and I'm going to play regularly till the end of the season.
That big cheer in the background was Harry Maguire sliding through on Ryan Cherki. And a well-timed tackle to win the ball for Manchester United as Veretout then finds himself tackled by Casemiro. Manchester United up for it in these opening 50-50 duels so far, but then Bruno Fernandes loses out against Veretout. And Clinton Mata, an Angolan defender who didn't play in the league game on Sunday, one of 5 changes that Paulo Fonseca made. Fonseca, who's in the dugout tonight at Old Trafford, as Tolisso here under pressure on the edge of his own penalty area does well, but Fonseca, who was given this enormous 9-month, not 9-game, 9-month touchline ban in French League football for confronting a referee, but that only applies domestically, and he is allowed to sit in the dugout and stand in the technical area here tonight. 0-0.
I think the thing you can say about Fonseca is that he came in January, had such a huge impact on the side, and he's managed to implement this new style. We know that he likes the high press, we know that he likes the high intensity football, but he's been able to do that on the training ground without standing on the touchline.
Here is Thiago Almada, whose free kick in the first half this day last week caused problems for Andre Onana, one of 2 goals that he was widely blamed for in that first leg. Here's the Georgian now, Mikotadze. As Lyon tried to get into the penalty area, but Mazraoui and Casemiro between them, and now Dalot are able to play it confidently through the Lyon press as Manchester United look to break, and Yoro comes storming up over the halfway line. This is a great surge by Yoro, up to Rasmus Højlund, good strength to try and hold off Akayuoko. Then an attempt to cross by Bruno Fernandes needed to be better, but that was impressive how Manchester United went from one end of the field to the other there, Paul. 0-0.
Akayuoko is going to have to do a lot of defending if Manchester United play like that. He'll be the one that sits in front of that back four. with Lyon playing the 4-3-3. You saw them, Manchester United, they had the ball deep in their own half, but within 2 passes they'd broken the press, because Lyon will commit 3, 4, 5 bodies forward, and in that instance Lenny Yoro was able to run the ball out into Rasmus Højlund, and immediately within 2 passes Bruno Fernandes, he was crossing it into the Manchester United box.
Well, live at Old Trafford this evening, 5 Live, BBC Sounds. We're also live on BBC Radio Manchester. This is the Europa League quarter-final second leg. 2-2 on aggregate, 0-0 on the evening. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, once of Arsenal, started the Europa League final for Arsenal 6 years ago. He is one of several players, particularly on the Lyon side, who would miss a potential semi-final first leg if he was booked tonight. There were 2 Manchester United players in that camp, the 2 central midfielders, Casemiro and Ugarte, as Casemiro is fouled here by is it Niakate, and that's going to be a free kick to Manchester United midway inside their own half. Andre Onana, wearing all purple, has hardly been involved so far, and I think he'll be very happy with that. He wants to stay out of the limelight tonight.
An early touch would be nice for him, you know, having been there, been in that situation, dropped and brought back into the side. Obviously not as quick as he has been within a couple of days, but I think an early touch for him, settle his nerves. I mean, he got a fantastic response from the Manchester United fans when he came out to warm up, particularly watched over there in that far left-hand corner, all the fans on the feet, singing his name, giving a great round of applause, and I'm sure the Manchester United fans in the stadium tonight will be behind him.
Yeah, I noticed that. I mean, I was in Lyon last week where he was given absolute dog's abuse by the home fans there when he came out to warm up. I mean, we felt they actually came in, the ultras, early. As we know, the goalkeepers warm up early. They came in early just to make him feel uncomfortable. So 0-0 here at Old Trafford. How have Tottenham got underway in their second leg? They're 1-1 for the first leg on aggregate. Away at Frankfurt, John Akers.
First 5 minutes have been all Frankfurt, Connor. It's Frankfurt 0, Tottenham 0, 1-1 on aggregate. 2 efforts from distance, both comfortable for Vicario. Bahoya with a tame shot from 18 yards, and then just a bit further out, Goetze with a shot from 20. Frankfurt 0, Spurs 0.
Garnacho trying to come in a counter-attack, but good work by Jordan Veretout to track his run to win possession by the byline. But then as Lyon tried to break out, they give it away to Casemiro. Manchester United attacking the Stretford end as the Brazilian plays it over to Dalot. Tolisso tries to get a tackle on him. Bruno Fernandes will come in to take up the charge. He slides in against Tagliafico. It's a real scrap there as the loose ball falls for Diogo Dalot. And back to Bruno Fernandes, back at his feet. He tried to nutmeg Bakayoko, who snapped his heel shot, and the ball goes out for the first corner of the game. Corner to Manchester United, 0-0 on the night, 2-2 in aggregate. Tell you what, it's loud in here tonight, and we don't say that all the time about Old Trafford these days.
It's been a really good start from Manchester United, a positive start. That's why the crowd are up for this. They were up for this before kick-off, but the pressure that Bruno Fernandes is pressing, Garnacho, etc. on the right-hand side, Dalot there, winning the corner for Manchester United, has increased the noise inside Old Trafford.
Which Bruno Fernandes will take, right-hand side as they come forward, short run-up. And then he doesn't kick the ball because a Lyon defender has fallen onto the ground in a tangle with Yolo, we think, and the referee had spotted that before the kick had been taken. I think it's Ako Yuoko who was in the tangle there. So Bruno Fernandes just been asked by the referee to hold it up, and the referee, Sandra Scherer, has a word with all involved. And it's one of those evenings, it's a big knockout game. Remember, extra time if this is level after 90. Penalties if required to see who goes through. Bruno Fernandes sends it in. Niakate jumping on the edge of the 6-yard box. He's able to head away. Lyon had brought everyone back to defence, so there's no one on the halfway line. And Mazraoui has all the time in the world as he puts his studs on it and rolls the ball back to Andre Onana. 2 high-profile misjudgments in the first leg. Not the first mistakes he's made this season. And he'll be hoping for clean sheet obviously tonight, but just a clean bill of health in terms of any obvious errors tonight. Højlund's done really well. Great straight to give it to Bruno Fernandes, who waited too long. Hit his head up, he was looking for options. He thought Bruno Fernandes, he had way more time than he did there, and Niakate was able to get back and challenge him.
Really good challenge on the edge of his own box there, Niakate. Really good interchange by Rasmus Højlund into Bruno Fernandes. He gets to the edge of the box, and just as you think he's about to pull the trigger, a challenge comes in. Spatial awareness from Bruno Fernandes wasn't quite there yet.
Massive night for British clubs in the Europa League. 0-0 here at Old Trafford. What about in Bilbao, which is the city that this season's Europa League final will be held? Rangers are there tonight. Gavin Wallace.
Athletic Club nil, Rangers nil. They've had a good chance, Rangers. Tavernier from 25 yards out, corner. His free kick just went over, but Sunset had a really good chance there as well for the host. Blocked. It remains 0-0.
That's very much. Manchester United lost 4-1 at Newcastle on Sunday. Lyon were playing against Auxerre. Like Ruben Amorim, Paulo Fonseca made several changes for that domestic game, but Lyon won it by 3-1 on their travels. Tagliafico has possession here, then an attempted little dart forward by Thiago Almada. That breaks down as a rather wayward pass in field from Casemiro actually just about works out okay, because Garnacho was able to stretch in and get there ahead of Thiago Almada, and now it's back under the studs of Harry Maguire, who plays a left-footed pass to Casemiro on the right-hand side. His little flick into Bruno Fernandes. Casemiro, who was on the bench at Newcastle on Sunday, keeping him fresh for tonight. Mazraoui looking for Bruno Fernandes, who looks to be offside, but there's no flag yet. Crossing position on the right-hand side, gives it in low to Garnacho. Great first touch, Garnacho. Must be Ugarte! Manuel Ugarte gives Manchester United the lead. They'll check to see if Bruno Fernandes was definitely onside in the build-up, but Ugarte takes his chance inside of 10 minutes, and it's 3-2 on aggregate to Manchester United.
What a wonderful start from Manchester United. A brilliant ball over the top to start with by Dalot. They will check to see Bruno Fernandes was offside, but his reverse pass into the middle for Garnacho. Garnacho's first touch around the Lyon defenders, and he cuts it back for Ugarte, 8 yards from goal, strokes it home into an empty net, and it's a fantastic start for Manchester United.
Manuel Ugarte, who turned 24 last week. That is only his second goal for Manchester United. Not many would have had him on the docket. We've seen the replay. Bruno Fernandes is onside. They have had a review of it, as they do for any big moments like that, but this goal is going to stand. Manchester United have got off to the start they were dreaming of on this huge evening for Ruben Amorim. There's the roar, the confirmation, the goal stands. Manchester United 1-0 up. What about Chelsea against Legia in the Conference League at Stamford Bridge? Sahil Sahi.
Chelsea are trailing after 10 minutes. It's Chelsea 0, Legia Warsaw 1. The goal coming from the penalty spot. Their captain Thomas Pekar was tripped up in the box by Chelsea's goalkeeper Philip Jorgensen. He stepped up and converted himself. Chelsea 0, Legia Warsaw 1 on the night. Chelsea lead, Connor, 3-1 on aggregate.
Thank you very much, Sahil. So Ugarte, who scored away at Everton in February, has scored at Old Trafford for the first time in Manchester United colours. And it is just the start that Amorim wanted, and here they go again. Bruno Fernandes taken down on the edge of the area, was he? No. Referee says it's a fair challenge by Clinton Mata, but they still haven't got it away here. This is Ugarte again, edge of the D. Lyon should have cleared there. Diogo Dalot on the right-hand side, lofts it in high. Dorgu is forward, but good commanding of his 6-yard box by Lucas Perry, and the Brazilian goalkeeper gathers it. 1-0 to Manchester United. Paul Robinson.
You can tell that they're at it, Manchester United, because they've got that goal. They should have had arguably a free kick there for Bruno Fernandes, but they win the ball back. They've circled that Lyon defence. Within 2 or 3 passes, they've got the ball back. They look hungry, they look organised, they look set, and it's been a superb start. It was such a really well-worked goal. The ball over the top from Dalot into the path of Fernandes, but it was the ball into Garnacho and his first touch what made it. Ugarte's task of putting the ball in the net was the simple one. It was a brilliant build-up by Manchester United.
This is such a surprise, it's such a novelty. Manchester United fans don't usually see their team score early. You know, this entire Premier League season, they've only got a few games to go. Manchester United opening 15 minutes of Premier League matches this season, they have scored once. They don't do early goals, but if they ever needed one tonight, this is the evening for Manuel Ugarte to step up and get it.
I think you can see the way that you described the walk out the tunnel and the faces, you know, the handshake and the pictures and the formalities before the game, and the way that they started this game. They just started with a different mindset, a business-like mindset, if you like.
Delay here because Bruno Fernandes was slow to get back to his feet. He's okay. The play will resume with the throw into Manchester United on the far side. Remember, Manchester United did take the lead in the first leg. Lyon were able to come back with 2 equalisers. Long way to go in this one, but no denying it's a very good start for the home team. Ainsley Maitland-Niles it right back for Lyon, plays it infield to Clinton Mata, further on to Nusa Diakate. Over the halfway line he comes, and he gives it up in that left wing area. And they've started with Cherki wide on the right, with Mikotadze through the centre, and with Thiago Almada generally on the left, but he's been drifting infield too. This is Harry Maguire giving it out to the right-hand side, with Bruno Fernandes at the moment. He's in a right wing-back position. That means Dallow's gone way up ahead of him. Bruno Fernandes tried to launch it up towards his fellow Portuguese international, but he launched it too far, and it goes out for a throw-in to Lyon. Left full-back position for them. The French team, for the third time in this quarter-final, have found themselves behind.
It's a tactic that Manchester United have used on more than one occasion already tonight. It led to the goal, but it's down the right-hand side. Lyon's left, targeting Tagliafico, because he's looking to push forward. He's looking to get in and amongst the Manchester United final third. First of all, it was Fernandes, Dallow over the top to Fernandes. That time it was roles reversed. Fernandes dropped deep, and Dallow was the one that looked to get in that space in behind Tagliafico, and that's something that will become key for Manchester United.
Manchester United 1, Lyon 0, 3-2 on aggregate to Ruben Amorim's team as Højlund goes down, and the referee is not interested in the appeals for a free kick. It'll be a throw into Lyon, which Tagliafico takes quickly to Thiago Almada. Lyon are making hard work of clearing their own lines tonight. There's been a much more emphatic high press from Manchester United. They didn't do this in the first leg a week ago, and Lyon are struggling to get out of their final third. Talisa's going to give it away again. This is Casemiro, and the goalkeeper saves it. Lucas Perry out for a corner. Lyon are all over the place in the back.
Brilliant save by the goalkeeper, Lucas Perry. Really, really good save. Again, it was Manchester United's pace in the closing down. That time it was Garnacho. He went in, he snapped into the challenge. It fell fortunately to Casemiro. He took one touch inside on his left foot, and he looked for all the world that was heading into the goalkeeper's bottom right-hand corner. Dives across, Perry puts a big right hand on it, but another really good opportunity for Manchester United. That's a good save.
The shot came through the legs of Paul Akuyoko, and it's an excellent reaction from close range for Perry to get down and push it out for this corner. Bruno Fernandes is getting hero's worship as he goes across to place the ball. This competition can provide the redemption. We all know it's been a miserable season for Manchester United, but there is still the chance it ends with trophies, and there's still the chance it ends with Champions League football next season. As Bruno Fernandes plays in the corner, that's not a great delivery. Met to the front post by Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who should be able to clear it away here. And again, they try to play their way out, and again, they work their way into trouble here. Lyon just about holding on to possession, as now Mikotadze comes over the halfway line. Manchester United needs to get back. We've not seen anything in attack from Lyon yet. Here's Cherki into the penalty area, tried a trick that didn't work. Garnacho had worked really hard to get back. He tried some little step over, and he actually kicked it when he meant his foot to hover over the ball. So Manchester United clear away. Here come Lyon again. Ball chipped into the penalty area. Tolisso beats Euro in the air, but a commanding punch from Andre Onana, the goalkeeper under such scrutiny. Tell you what, he didn't just punch that away, he slammed it away, and Manchester United now look to try and attack down the other end. Casemiro to Bruno Fernandes, taken down by Virtu. Virtu is going to get a yellow card. Manchester United are bossing the midfield at the moment.
Yeah, they're up for this tonight, Manchester United, and as you say there, that will give Andre Onana the world of good for his confidence. He made the decision to leave his line early, and he came out and he punched that ball. There was a lot of frustration in that punch, because that ball went a long, long way. I wonder whose face was pictured on that ball when he did that.
You know, he's been through the ringer. We know about the errors leading to goals. You know, for anyone who's not aware of the Nemanja Matic build-up, when Onana said he said Manchester United are a better team than Lyon, and Matic, a former Manchester United player who was next up in the press conference, he said, well look, I would take that from some, but not from the worst goalkeeper in Manchester United history. So that sort of set up Onana to be the pantomime figure in the first leg, and then he makes the two mistakes. So he's been in the spotlight, but that was a really good punch from him tonight, and he sums up the mood of a team that have started really well for Ruben Amorim. They're on the attack again. Here's a chance for Dallow, left-footed shot from the edge of the penalty area. He got his studs in underneath it, and it sails over the crossbar, but there is no doubt which team are on top here. 18 minutes played at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Lyon 0. 3-2 to Manchester United on aggregate, as we go for an update from the Frankfurt against Tottenham game with John Akers.
18 minutes gone. Frankfurt 0, Spurs 0, 1-1 on aggregate. Still fairly one-way traffic. Frankfurt's Ekitike, who scored in the first leg, running through. Great foot race with Van de Ven. Van de Ven just got there and ended up in the arms of Vicario. Goetz has had to go off injured for Frankfurt. It's 0-0.
Dorgo here tries to take the ball on. He ran past two, then he loses possession. Veer2 will give it out to the near side here to Cherki. We'll go to Rangers in just a moment. Cherki takes his eye off the ball and Euro tries to slide in, but it's worked out well for Cherki as he was able to hold on to it, and he plays a good pass into Veer2, who returns it to Cherki in the penalty area. Chance for Lyon, good block, Harry Maguire. Out it goes for a corner, and we join Gavin Wallace watching Rangers in Bilbao.
Rangers should have had a penalty. Conor Cyril Dessers was through. Vivian pulled his shirt, he's ripped the striker's sponsor complete off. You can see his Under Armour underneath. No penalty, they haven't even checked it. It's still 0-0.
1-0 to Manchester United here, and Lyon have a corner. Cherki places the ball, rolls it early to the edge of the area to Thiago Almada, who scored with a free kick in the first leg. Back out to Cherki. That's a dangerous delivery in, but rising was Mazraoui, and then Ugarte helps it on further. Manchester United survive again. Paul Robinson.
This is the first time that Lyon have got any real sustained possession and pressure on the ball. That time it was Cherki showing his quality on the right hand side. Really good interchange with Veer2. Lovely 1-2, got himself in a good position. Maguire makes a good block in the end, it goes out for the corner, but at the moment Lyon have the ball, and it's the first time in the game that they've actually settled with some possession.
Cherki controls it well, gives it back to Veer2. This is a bit more settled now from Lyon, but it has taken them 20 minutes to find this groove. They've been overrun in the early stages, and they find themselves behind. Mikatadze in the penalty area. Mazraoui involved in a collision there with Tagliafico, in which the Argentinian dramatically hit the ground, but the referee wasn't interested.
Oh, that was awful. That was an awful dive. It wasn't even a good dive. I mean, we're a long way away here in the press box, and we can see it the other side of the box. That was one of the worst dives that you'll see.
Dreadful. I'm actually surprised action hasn't been taken with that. That is so blatant. I mean, you know, I think what he said is that his foot was trod on, but the way he went down was as if he was hit by a truck.
Yeah, if somebody stands on your foot, you don't fall 3 yards backwards, do you?
Right, that shows some of the desperation from Lyon. This night has not started well for them, but of course, a long way to go. You've got to go back 13 years for the last time Manchester United scored first in a Europa League game here and didn't win it. Here though, come Lyon. Thiago Almada shoots in, and it's blocked away by Maguire. Maguire's hurt himself in the process there, bravely putting his body in the line of the shot, but something has worked out awkwardly for Maguire. He's slow to get back to his feet. Corner to Lyon.
Cherki again on the right hand side doing some really, really good work. Gets the ball into the midfield, and it's a really good strike by Almada. Harry Maguire throws himself full body across the front of the ball, takes one right into the ribcage in his stomach. Good interchange again by Cherki. Almada, that was heading goalwards. That was going to cause Andre Onana a problem. Harry Maguire, brave as ever.
Yeah, here comes the corner. Played in, header on target, saved by Onana. Pushes it up and over the top. Lyon's best chance of the game so far. Clinton Mata, who's never scored for Lyon, and he very nearly did there.
Out-swinging corner by Cherki down here in this near side. Found Mata's head 6 yards out. Comfortable for Onana.
Right, Lyon have been much more dangerous in the last couple of minutes. Here comes the latest corner in. Maguire heads it out. Clinton Mata again, but he sends it away off target. And out it goes into the crowd. Andre Onana's first test of the evening. He's passed it, Paul.
It's funny. You know what we said about Onana. We spent a lot of time talking about him, and he wants to keep himself out the spotlight, have a quiet game. Noticed out the corner of my eye where Manchester United are playing from right to left. Scored the goal away to our left at the Stretford end. All eyes focused there. I just caught out the corner of my eye Andre Onana went over in front of the Lyon fans and did a little dance. He's not one to keep quiet, is he?
Nice. Well, you know, confidence is a funny thing in football. You've got to try and ride the wave of it when you can. And Andre Onana, Manchester United have started well here. In another of the Europa League quarterfinals this evening, Lazio, who are 2 goals down against Bodo Glimt from the first leg, have scored first tonight. So that one is 2-1 in aggregate now. The Italians are still behind. Here at Old Trafford on BBC Radio 5 Live, on BBC Sounds, and also on BBC Radio Manchester. It is 1-0 thanks to Ugarte's goal in the evening. Manchester United leading 3-2 on aggregate. Manuel Ugarte, who played under Ruben Amorim at Sporting in the past. They won a trophy together, the League Cup in Portugal in 2022. And Ugarte has just provided a very big moment for Ruben Amorim. here this evening. Veertu has possession for Lyon. Lyon playing from left to right as we look down. Poor pass though by Ainsley Maitland-Niles, was intercepted by Lenny Yoro. This is Dorgu, another who was rested from the start at St James's Park at the weekend when young Harry Amas was given his first Premier League start. Bruno Fernandes plays it over to Dalot, still midway inside his own half, but there's just a bit more calmness about Manchester United. Their passing has been more careful, not as many balls going astray as we sometimes see. As it's passed here back to Andre Onana, he'll give it to Lenny Yoro on the edge of the penalty area. Now Lyon come to press, and Dorgu sees this as an opportunity to just dink it forward onto the chest of Rasmus Højlund. Casemiro slides in, a little scrappy, but Manchester United do hold on to the ball. Paul.
They've settled, Lyon. You can tell after the first 20 minutes, Manchester United pressing really high, had much the better of the game, much the better of the possession, but all of a sudden Lyon have decided that they're going to come into this game, press Manchester United and put them on the back foot.
Mistake by Dalot there as he tried to take on Tagliafico. The Argentinian international was able to tackle him, but Manchester United get it back, and here comes Garnacho. That's a lovely change of direction. Veertu can't keep up with him. Tolisso can't keep up with him. Into the penalty area, Garnacho, and his shot is blocked away by Niakate and out for a corner. Well, he scored against Newcastle, a fine goal at the weekend, Alejandro Garnacho, and that's what Manchester United fans want to see more of. He started that run inside his own half, he ended it inside the Lyon penalty area.
That would have been a contender for goal of the season, certainly Europa League goal of the season. Manchester United was so deep, sat in a low block, Lyon having a lot of possession, the turnover of possession breaks to Garnacho. He's got one thought, he just runs in a straight line into the Lyon half, and credit Rasmus Højlund, his run takes away two of the Lyon defenders, and all of a sudden it just opens up for Garnacho. Niakate I think it is in the end, gets back, puts the block on, but Manchester United turned defence into attack very quickly.
Big night for Manchester United, going well so far. 25 minutes played. Manchester United 1, Lyon 0. Bruno Fernandes corner comes in high. Harry Maguire with the header, and just off target. It wouldn't have counted anyway. There had been a foul on a defender as the ball came in, and even if that had been on target from Harry Maguire, it would have been a free kick to Lyon.
That's a wonderful delivery by Bruno Fernandes. It's flighted, it's perfect for Harry Maguire. It wasn't Harry Maguire that was the offender, it was Rasmus Højlund. Harry Maguire headed towards the far post. Rasmus Højlund just pushed the defender out the way who was trying to put a block in on Harry Maguire. It's a very congested penalty area. There's blocks going on. It was Rasmus Højlund at the near post. Harry Maguire doesn't make a foul. He gets a good clean header on it. It's heading goalwards, but the defender who was in the way to block it was fouled by Rasmus Højlund.
We were together, Paul, weren't we, in November in Porto when Harry Maguire got that late equaliser in this competition. That was a header from a corner, and he very nearly produced something similar there.
And we were together at Fenerbahce as well, weren't we, when we arguably saw Manchester United play one of the best performances that I've seen them. I think they were excellent. Was that not you?
That
was
was
ABB?
That was another good-looking commentator. We get mixed up all the time.
Well, we have that many good European trips, you forget. But no, they were good in Fenerbahce. They were excellent. I think for the first time under Ruben Amorim, you saw a system coming together. You saw it working.
I think there's a great argument to be made as Lyon here inside their own half. Oh, hang on. Maitland-Niles has done a nice little trick there, and now Yoro, look at the pace of Yoro to get back ahead of Cherki. He had no right to do that, but he out-sprinted Rayan Cherki, and Yoro was able to get there comfortably ahead of the opponent and roll it back to Onana. I was just going to say, Paul, there's an argument to be made that this is a much more comfortable atmosphere for Ruben Amorim. The Europa League suits him more than the Premier League in terms of his experience and where he comes from, and of course the Premier League is where he's going to be judged long term, but in the here and now he seems more relaxed. His tactics seem to work better at this level.
And you look at the 3-4-2-1 that he's absolutely adamant that he's playing. He's gone so far down that road now since he's come in. Manchester United under Ruben Amorim are not going to go away from that. He's going to have to find better players to fit that system next season. But like you say, the 3-4-2-1 system maybe fits the European competition better than it does the Premier League, because they're seemingly getting found out week in and week out, and the results aren't what they should be in the Premier League. But as you say, in the Europa League, they're the only team in the competition still unbeaten.
1-0 to Manchester United. Manuel Ugarte's goal, only his second ever for the club. Lyon have possession. They've been better in the last 10 minutes or so, but they started this game badly. And crucially, in that period, Manchester United were able to pounce. Here is Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Onana still only had one proper save to make so far. Maitland-Niles back to Moussa Niakate. Comes forward into Manchester United territory, plays it out to the left-hand side. Back into Tolisso, Corentin Tolisso, who scored quite a few goals from midfield in recent months. Mata here under pressure from Garnacho, nearly loses out. He was uncomfortable there, Clinton Mata, and just to be sure, he turned and rolled it all the way back to the goalkeeper. But there's a decisiveness, a concentration about Manchester United tonight that has not been in evidence all that often. But when they're at it like this, you see why it's so dreadful when they misperform, because these players are capable of operating at a much higher standard.
But you do get the feeling, you know how susceptible and brittle Manchester United can be at times when they're playing like this, and when they're on top of the game, you feel they need to go on and get the second and go and win the game, because the longer this goes at 1-0, Lyon, as we've seen, they've grown into the game in the last 28 minutes. The first 20 minutes was all Manchester United, but slowly but surely Lyon have got possession with Cherki on this right-hand side. They've started to cause problems, they've started to have more possession of the ball, and if the game stays like this for Manchester United, we know that they're brittle.
Long way to go. 1-0 to Manchester United so far, 3-2 on aggregate as Tolisso comes forward to Lyon, gives it to Tagliafico, the Argentinian international. Dangerous cross into the middle, Ainsley Maitland-Niles puts it over the top. Now we praised Yoro a moment ago, but he was weak as a wet brown paper bag there. That was dreadful from Yoro, and Maitland-Niles might well have scored.
Really poor defending by Yoro. Could have cost his team. There was nobody in the 6-yard box. It was Tagliafico on the left-hand side. The left-back swings a lovely ball in across the edge of the 6-yard box. Yoro's not aware of his surroundings, no communication with anybody. Tries to flick it with the outside of his right boot. Could have gone anywhere, could have cost his team.
So we're going to go for an update, I think, to Rangers' game in Spain tonight. Athletic Bilbao against Rangers. Gavin Wallace.
Still 0-0 at the moment, Connor, although Rangers have been pushed back, and Connor Barron has had to come on. Ridvan is off injured, so Rangers changing the shape to 5 at the back. 0-0 just now.
Tagliafico crosses one in. Yoro heads it down. Oh, he's giving it away again. Maitland-Niles on the edge of the penalty area, gives it infield. Little dink by the Georgian Mikotadze, but out comes Onana. Good alert goalkeeping, and he holds on to it round about the penalty spot. What about Tottenham away in Frankfurt? John Akers.
Frankfurt 0, Spurs 0, 1-1 on aggregate, and Spurs have settled down after Frankfurt started the better, and they've had 2 sights at goal. Tell with the first one, should have done better, snatched at it after Johnson's cross, and then he's had a curler, a really good effort from 25 yards saved. It's Frankfurt 0, Spurs 0.
So that is 1-1 on the night. Rangers 0-0 on the night. Manchester United here 3-2 up on aggregate. Earlier on in the Conference League, Fiorentina have gone through on aggregate into the semis. Betis have gone through. And what about Chelsea in a moment, because here's a chance. Cherki, saved by Onana, diving down to his right. Cherki's going to get a second bite, but Bruno Fernandes takes it away from him. Lyon's best chance, and I'll tell you what, Onana's been heavily scrutinised, Paul Robinson. That's a marvellous save.
Really good save, low down to his right-hand side. His positioning in relation to his line, he didn't get sucked in, he didn't go forward, stayed in touch with his line, a yard off his line. And the worrying thing for Manchester United is how that chance came about. Cherki had all the freedom on this right-hand side, cut in, and he just kept going and going and going. Got into Manchester United's box, just inside the penalty area, unleashes a left foot, low down to Onana's right-hand side. And credit the goalkeeper, gets down sharp, makes a really good two-handed save.
Well, having been in Lyon a week ago, having seen the opening half an hour here, Rayan Cherki is the danger man. He's the one who could upset Manchester United, who, as things stand, are on their way through to the semi-finals of the Europa League. Let's go to Stamford Bridge. Chelsea against Legia. Sahel.
We played 31 minutes here, Connor. Still Chelsea 0, Legia Warsaw 1. It should be 2-0 to the visitors. Their Japanese international Ryo Morishita went through right side of the area. He just missed inches wide. Chelsea 0, Legia Warsaw 1 on the night. Chelsea lead 3-1 overall.
Lyon on the attack. It won't sit up for Tolisso. It does sit up though for Akuyuoko, but his shot is straight at Andre Onana, who makes the save. Let's go to League Two. Bradford can move back to the top of the table with a victory against Notts County. Nick Hatton.
Still 0-0 here, Connor. 32 minutes gone. Chances though for either side. David McGoldrick for County shooting wide when well placed 16 yards out. Then Bobby Pointed for City. Run and shot from 20 yards out, forcing a good save from Sam Slocum in the Notts County goal. 0-0.
Thanks very much, Nick. So just to break your play here, one of the Lyon players is receiving treatment. We're getting to see a replay of that Andre Onana save from Cherki's shot. It was low to the goalkeeper's right. I mean, he's fortunate it's not properly tucked in the corner, but I mean, Paul, you're the expert. Is that a difficult position for the keeper to get down to?
Let's be brutally honest, after seeing the replay, it was a decent save. Right. If it had gone in, there'd be huge questions asked. It would have been, it's one you expect him to save. But when you're in a position where he's been, the confidence is low, he's made the right decision. He's gone with two hands and he's pushed it out the danger area. He hasn't tried to catch it and he hasn't caused himself a problem. But if he doesn't save that, there is a problem.
Still no play here. Virtu is back on his feet, but we're waiting for play to resume. So back to Stamford Bridge and Sahil Sahi,
where Chelsea have equalised. Sancho down the right, Cucurella 6 yards away, tapped it in. Chelsea are back level. It's 1-1 here, and now they lead 4-1 on aggregate.
So Chelsea looking very good for progression. Manchester United in front here. Tottenham still level in their semi, so too for Rangers. It's going to be an intriguing next couple of hours here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as we follow the progress of the British clubs in action here at Old Trafford. Manchester United, who started the game very well, but there's no doubt Lyon have come back into it. Here is Euro coming over the halfway line. He's looked better coming forward tonight than defending, actually, the French defender, and he's got all the way to the edge of the area. Gives it to Dorgu on the left-hand side. Several red shirts forward here. Garnacho takes it off Dorgu. Can he weave into a shooting position? Running along the edge of the penalty area, gives it back to Manuel Ugarte. Lyon have been able to get all the players back behind the ball again now, but Manchester United hold on to it inside their opponent's half.
I can't believe the space that they're affording Lenny Euro. The back four of Lyon are just dropping off. The midfielders are saying, go on then, just run at us. And they're allowing him to get really deep into their own half before he plays the pass. That's 2 or 3 occasions where Euro's been excellent at his runs forward.
Here he is again, Lenny Euro on the halfway line. Manchester United in their red shirts, white shorts, black socks, playing from right to left as we look down, attacking the Stretford end. Mazraoui to Diogo Dalot on the far side. Manuel Ugarte's goal separates them. Long ball launched forward. Bruno Fernandes is onto it, and he's hit the crossbar with the volley. That would have been sensational. From inside his own half, Dalot released the pass. Bruno Fernandes running onto it. It's coming from behind him. He's got a look over his shoulder. He slides, and before it hit the ground, a pass that's come 40 yards, he hits it on the volley, and he hits the crossbar, Paul Robinson.
That could have possibly been the best goal that I've ever seen. That was incredible. What a ball by Dalot. Full 70, 80 yards, almost 3/4 the length of the pitch. Bruno Fernandes gets in behind the Lyon defence. He watches the ball drop over his shoulder, drop out the night sky. He picks it perfectly, hits it on the volley, hits it sweet as a nut, beats the goalkeeper, all ends up and smashes the crossbar. That would have been unbelievable.
Millimetres from greatness there for Bruno Fernandes. Manchester United, having absorbed some Lyon pressure, just reminding their visitors from France that they've still got an attacking threat too. I mean, we've not seen much from Højlund in an attacking sense. He's been winning the ball, laying it off for others. But Garnacho's looked bright, Bruno Fernandes has looked bright, and this time it's a long ball by Harry Maguire, which is won in the air by Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Virtu gets it down on the deck, but he gives it away. Poor pass, straight to Lenny Euro. 1-0 to Manchester United on the 9 and 5 line. Garnacho runs to the penalty area, shoots, deflects off Niakate, and goes out for a corner. Corner to Manchester United with 10 minutes to go to half-time.
I still can't get over what I've just seen, Connor. That was an incredible opportunity for Bruno Fernandes. There's only him that's got the quality, the technique, the vision and the ability to execute the strike like he did. The ball from Dalot is just a ball over the top trying to put him in. He watched it down to the bottom of his right boot and he smashes the crossbar. Again there, Manchester United, Garnacho getting forward this time. Deflection off Niakate. It was going into the goalkeeper's far right-hand corner. Another corner.
To even try and shoot from that was outrageous for Bruno Fernandes. To hit the crossbar as the corner from the Manchester United captain comes in and Lucas Perry punches it away. This is Thiago Almada trying to play his way out from the back. He's got it back here from Turkey. Up to the halfway line comes the Argentinian international, and there's no tackle on him, and you can hear the urgency, the roars from Manchester United fans. They wanted Ugarte to get much closer there. An attempted through ball into the penalty area is cut out on the edge by Mazraoui. Manchester United look to break on the counter again. You know, it's worked out well for them tonight as Garnacho was tackled by Ainsley Maitland-Niles, but being 1-0 in front here forces Lyon to push in search of the equaliser, and that allows Manchester United to play on the counter, which is probably their most favourite style.
And that's what they're doing. They've been very submissive now with possession. They're allowing Lyon possession, sitting in a lot lower block than they have been, but doing what they do now, they spring quickly.
Rasmus Højlund out to the left wing. Patrick Dorgu ahead of Garnacho into the penalty area, cuts it back. Højlund on his left, tries to swivel. Here's Bruno Fernandes! This shoots just wide. Oh, that was close again. Outside of the right boot, spinning away from Lucas Perry, and agonisingly for Bruno Fernandes, spinning marginally wide to the target, but he is taking this game by the scruff of the neck.
He's going to get one tonight, Bruno Fernandes. The way he's playing, he's definitely going to get one at some point. I mean, the earlier strike was exceptional, and that was brilliant as well. Really good play by Manchester United. Good centre-forward play this time by Højlund. Sets Fernandes up on the edge of the box. It takes a deflection. It's not the perfect set for him, but he takes it on the half volley outside of his right boot, just spins wide of the far post. But he looks up for it tonight, the Manchester United captain.
It is an evening when Manchester United want to show they deserve to be amongst Europe's elite. They want to be in the Champions League next season. They're putting in one of their better performances of the campaign so far. But can they build on it ahead of half-time? 7 or 8 minutes to go. This is Dorgu, pulls it back from the left. Oh, Højlund sliding in, nothing falls his way these days. Out of the edge of the 6-yard box, he picks himself back up, having seen the ball flash just in front of him. Any touch at all from the Dane would have given Manchester United a second goal. But Lyon, who had recovered, and now back bailing water out of the canoe again, because Manchester United are dominating that midfield once more.
He was a yard off the pace there, Rasmus Højlund. Timed his run, he was just a little bit too slow. Really good play on the left-hand side, a 1-2 between Dorgu and Garnacho. Garnacho gets in a really good position, flashes it across the 6-yard box where Højlund should be, and he's just a yard off the pace.
Ugarte's goal tonight came in the 10th minute. 3-2 on aggregate for Ruben Amorim's team. A place in the Europa League semi-final awaits. And the winner of this will face either Bilbao or Rangers in the semi-finals. As Casemiro tries to play another good through ball into the penalty area, goes Ugarte. He's done well to hold on to his feet. Niakate standing him up right at the byline. Strength needed here by Ugarte. He'd love to win a corner, and he does. Corner to Manchester United, who keep getting in behind the Lyon defence.
They're not afraid to play slightly longer tonight, Manchester United. We've seen them struggle with build-up play, and we've seen them lose possession, and the turnover in their games has been far too often. But tonight with Dalot, Dorgu, the ball's over the top. Maguire even playing longer, more direct balls into Garnacho, into Fernandes. It's worked for them. That time it was Ugarte making the running behind.
Manchester United so far rising to the occasion, but can they keep it up? The home fans here at Old Trafford have seen many good first halves fade away with second half performances. Corner comes in, headed from Maguire, well claimed by the goalkeeper Perry.
He's won every header, Harry Maguire, from a corner. That time it was a bit deeper, slightly too far out. Couldn't get any power on it, couldn't really get any real purchase on it from Harry Maguire. But again, it's the same combination. Fernandes to Maguire, Maguire looking to knock it back across the box.
Manchester United, who host Wolves here on Sunday. The Wolves coach, Vitor Pereira, is here, just sitting a few rows in front of us to our left. Maitland-Niles on the halfway line for Lyon. Gives it in field to Corentin Tolisso. And then further into the centre circle to Paul Akoyuwoko. And now Nusa Niakate comes forward. Lyon running out of time to get an equaliser before the break. 4 minutes to half-time. Virtu on the right-hand side. Gives it back to Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Forward ball to Tolisso. Leaves it for Cherki, who tries the flick, but Ugarte was there to ensure that didn't work out. Lyon trying to hold on to possession. They're in danger of losing it here. Bruno Fernandes gets it back for Manchester United. And now Dalot, having to step back into his own penalty area, rolls it for Andre Onana. No messing about there. Puts his foot through the ball, launches it up to the halfway line, where Rasmus Højlund wins the header. And then Dorgu loses his boot. I don't think there's anything intentional there from Virtu, but he has clipped the side of the foot of Dorgu as they ran, both looking up in the air at the ball, and the referee has given a free kick to Manchester United for that.
You see, there's a noticeable difference with Andre Onana there. Mazraoui lays him the ball back, and he's got time and he's got space. Normally, or recently, would have seen him just roll his foot over it, try and play it out, try and pick a pass along one of his three centre halves or the wing back. No chances. Foot through it up to Rasmus Højlund, and that's the difference, and he needs that sometimes.
Dalot in possession for Manchester United, 1-0 up on the night. Heavy challenge comes in on Bruno Fernandes. He appeals for a free kick. Referee says play on. Manchester United have possession anyway. Yoro, who's showing a real willingness to come forward. He did this once or twice in the first leg too. He's done it several times this evening. As Garnacho's got the pace on Virtu here. He takes a tumble on his way into the penalty area as he tried to change direction. And it's going to be a free kick to Lyon and a chance to clear their lines. We've got to go quickly to Frankfurt. A penalty in the Tottenham game. John Akers.
Penalty for Spurs. Maddison clattered by Cal Santos, the goalkeeper. He was endangering an opponent, got a yellow card for it, had to go to VAR. Maddison's won a header, goalkeeper's come out of his goal and clattered him. Dom Solanke's going to take the penalty. Up he steps, right-footed, and scores for Spurs. Massive goal. Shoots the bow and arrow. Spurs fans jubilant. They lead in the quarter-final second leg. Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1. They lead 2-1 on aggregate.
Thanks very much, John. It's been quite a week for English clubs in Europe, hasn't it? Particularly with Arsenal and their fantastic results against Real Madrid, with Manchester United leading here, and now, Paul, your old Tottenham Hotspur team could be going through. We could still have an all-English, we could still have an all-British final in the Europa League this season.
Not getting overly excited, not yet. I've watched Tottenham a couple of times this season.
You've seen this movie before. It doesn't always have the happy ending.
It's a positive start, let's put it that way.
Hang on, here come Lyon on the attack. Cherki, nice pass to him from Mikotadze. Cherki into the penalty area. He's so good at changing direction. Cuts back in himself again. 3 defenders around him, but he's managed to slip the ball to Veertu, who coasts into a crossing position. Here comes the delivery. Played in really well, but it flashes through a few bodies and just about kept alive by Thiago Almada on the far side. Back in field to Cherki. Lays it back to Akoyuoko. Lyon trying to finish this first half with a flourish. How they would love to get the tie back on level terms, both on the night and on aggregate. They are 1 goal away from doing that as Tolisso here stretches and gets there ahead of Yoro. Veertu to Maitland-Niles. This is right hand side of the field as Lyon come forward. Akoyuoko has to spin away from Højlund, and Manchester United fall back very much into defensive mode here with 30 seconds remaining of normal time in the first half. And Niakate comes forward, a little burst, back to Tagliafico, into Thiago Almada. They're trying to let the ball do the work here, Lyon. They're trying to dazzle Manchester United. Concentration key for Ruben Amorim's team as Tolisso plays a low ball into the box looking for Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Cut out though by Casemiro, and away goes Garnacho again, tripped by Tolisso. That'll be a yellow card for him, and if Lyon go through, their captain Corentin Tolisso will miss the semi-final first leg because that yellow card draws a suspension.
Well, they do pose a danger, don't they? Whether it's on the counter-attack or when they've got possession with Veertu, Tolisso, Cherki's the main man. He's playing on the right-hand side, but he's been allowed to drift inside into that number 10 position. Almada, Mikotadze, they've got the quality, they've got the players that can hurt teams. I mean, they're unbeaten in 12 away games in Europa League for a reason. That's because they don't know when they're beaten. Manchester United, you feel, need another one.
1-0 to Manchester United. Diogo Dalot controls one in the area, kicks it in off the post, and Manchester United get their second goal of the semi-final second leg. It's stoppage time ahead of the break, and again it's another direct long ball pumped forward, which Dalot did so well to control. But what about the finish? In off the post. It's Manchester United 2, Lyon 0 on the night. It's 4-2 on aggregate to Ruben Amorim's team, and on their biggest night of the season, Manchester United are delivering the goods here.
What a time to score for Manchester United. What a time to get a second. An early goal and a late goal in the first half. This time it's Diogo Dalot, but it's the same again. It's the same script. It's the long ball over the top. They've been targeting Tagliafico this whole first half. Harry Maguire with a long-ranging pass. It looks a harmless pass. Dalot just backs into Tagliafico. He's not strong. The fullback tumbles over. Dalot stays on his feet. The goal just opens up for him. All of a sudden he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Goal opens up. 1 touch, 2 touches. Right foot strike across Perry into the bottom right-hand corner. Gives Ruben Amorim and Manchester United an absolute dream finish to this first half.
For Diogo Dalot, it is his 3rd goal in the Europa League this season. He scored in the last round, the home match against Real Sociedad. He scored against Steaua Bucharest in January. Confirmation that the VAR has approved the on-field decision, and it is 2-0 now, a 2-goal lead on the cusp of half-time.
It's been a tactic for Manchester United, targeting Tagliafico in the left-back area. Long balls over the top, that's where the first goals come from, and that's where the second goals come from. They just had a VAR check, the contact between Dalot and Tagliafico, it was minimal, it was nothing. Fullback fell on his backside on the edge of the box. Dalot found himself all of a sudden in acres of space. 2 touches and a really good finish from Dalot.
Manchester United, who have struggled to get goals consistently from any of their attacking players this season, as the half-time whistle blows, it is two unlikely scorers, Manuel Ugarte and Diogo Dalot, who have given Ruben Amorim a wonderful platform. Now, what an atmosphere around Old Trafford. It's a night when there's been a harmony between the players and the crowd. We mentioned the mood as the players came out right at the beginning of the game. This is game face Manchester United. This is eyes on the prize Manchester United. We don't see it very often, Paul, but when they play like this, they're great to watch.
The best that I've seen them. Best that I've seen them play this season. There'll be a lot of people inside Old Trafford looking at each other and going, why can't we do that every week? Why can we only get up for games like this? But they won't be worried about that. We'll unpack all that and we'll pick the bones out of that later on when the game's finished, if they can see this over the line. I mean, it's been an impressive Manchester United performance. They have still shown vulnerabilities at the back. They have got quality. Lyon with Cherki, Almada, they do cause Manchester United problems. That second goal is massive.
A goal in Bilbao, Gavin Wallace.
Not quite yet, we're waiting for it. It's a penalty corner. Sanadi and Suter got all tangled up, and Sunset steps up. He sends Liam Kelly the wrong way. It goes to the left hand side, and Atletico have the lead right on half time. Athletic Club 1, Rangers 0.
Thanks very much, Gavin. So Manchester United scoring in stoppage time, Rangers conceding in stoppage time as we reach the halfway point of tonight's Europa League. 8 o'clock kickoff, quarter-final second legs. Manchester United with a 2-goal lead, and the big question now, Kelly, is can they hold on to it?
The way that they're playing in this game, every indication is that they can. Conor McNamara and Paul Robinson at Old Trafford for us will be back there very shortly for the second half of that game. René Mullenstein and Andros Townsend also with us. René, as Paul said, there'll be lots of questions asked afterwards as to if Manchester United can play like that, why don't they do it more often? But let's concentrate for now at least on what they are getting right in this game.
Yeah, I think what they do really, really well is that they, because Lyon does want to press at times, and they're exposing the space in behind in the high line really, really well. So they're not afraid to go a little bit direct. You saw that Bruno Fernandes attempt with the volley, hitting the crossbar. That would have been, like Robbo said, absolutely the goal of the tournament. It's so difficult to take a ball like that out of the air, coming over your blind shoulder. But like Robbo said as well, they needed another goal. And Robbo wasn't even finished saying it, and Dalot got it, and that is so massive for them.
And also it's credit to Amorim and his coaching staff, Andros, because they are targeting Tagliafico, as the guys have pointed out.
Yeah, it's so important that United got a fast start tonight and kept the crowd on side. They were so good before the match. I could hear them through the speakers. So, yeah, an early goal, well worked goal. Great passing, interchanging and cut back, and great finish from Ugarte. So they kept the crowd on side. They kept to the game plan. Like you said, they targeted down Lyon's left-hand side. Had so much joy and fully deserved the 2-0 lead.
Andros and René, thank you very much for now. Let's head to Bilbao. The half-time whistle has gone. Gavin Wallace.
Oh, and it's Athletic Club 1, Rangers 0. 1-0 on aggregate as well, Kelly. That goal, a penalty on 45 plus 3 with 3 minutes added time. And Sanadi and Suter get tangled up in that left-hand side of the box. Suter's foot just goes through the back of the Athletic forward. Referee says penalty. Ohio Sansei steps up, sends Liam Kelly the wrong way. He couldn't pull off the heroics that he did last week, and unfortunately at the break they're 1-0 down. They're defending for their lives, and I think, to be honest, it was a case of when, not if, when that was going to happen. But Rangers have put their body on the line multiple times. They should have had a penalty with quarter an hour gone. Cyril Dessers had his shirt basically ripped off his back by Vivian. Referee and VAR said nothing doing here, but at the break they're down 1-0 in Bilbao.
3 games in the Europa League involving British sides this evening. 1 in the Europa Conference League, where it's Chelsea against Legia Warsaw. Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, half-time here, Kelly. It's Chelsea 1, Legia Warsaw 1. Lively 45 minutes. Chelsea, they started brightly with Cole Palmer firing wide from inside the area after 2 minutes. Then Palmer and Nkunku were denied by brave defending before the visitors took the lead from the penalty spot through their captain Thomas Pekar after he was hauled down by Philip Jorgensen. It was close to a 2-goal lead for Legia. Morishita inches wide when clean through. Chelsea then replied to that warning shot by equalising themselves. Sancho picking out Cucurella, who tapped home 6 yards away. So half-time here, Chelsea 1, Legia Warsaw 1. Chelsea lead 4-1 overall.
The game between Eintracht Frankfurt and Tottenham is going Tottenham's way at the moment as far as the scoreline is concerned. They lead by 1-0. The half-time whistle's just gone, but not before there was time for a red card. John Akers.
Yeah, one of the Frankfurt coaches have been sent off. I thought it was Ange Postecoglou for a moment, but it wasn't. A booking for Brennan Johnson just at the end there, and things looked like they might kick off, but it was all diffused. But a red card shown to a Frankfurt official. What a half of football. Spurs season very much still alive thanks to that Dom Solanke penalty. It was a penalty given after a VAR check. Why it needed to go to VAR, I have no idea. Maddison wins a header in the penalty area and then is completely and utterly taken out by the goalkeeper, Cal Santos, the Brazilian, flattened. In fact, Maddison's had to go off injured, and Kulusevski, who hasn't played since February, is on in his place. He just took a bit of everything, bit of his head, chest, his legs bent underneath him, and he stepped up to convert the penalty coolly down the middle. His first goal in 12 matches, Dom Solanke. So Spurs ahead at the break in a huge game, their whole season in this next 45 minutes. Frankfurt 1, Spurs 2 on aggregate, 1-0 Spurs on the night.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
With BBC News on 5 Live, I'm Bethan Holmes. A day after the Supreme Court ruled the legal definition of a woman is based on biological sex, the impact of its judgment is becoming clearer. British Transport Police has become one of the first public bodies to announce a change in policy, saying trans women in custody would be searched by male officers. While teaching unions say they need guidance from the government as quickly as possible. And Harad Morgan is a secondary school teacher in Newcastle.
I think it leaves children who are perhaps gender questioning, trans children, very vulnerable. So in my school I run a feminist society, and the children in that, the students in that, are predominantly non-binary and transgender, and I think it leaves them at risk.
Elsewhere, at least 4 people have been killed after a cable car crashed to the ground near Naples. It's reported one of the cables supporting the cabin snapped. 16 people have been rescued. Authorities in Florida have confirmed several people have been injured in a suspected shooting at Florida State University. A local hospital says 6 patients are being treated, with 5 in a serious condition and 1 critically injured. The Ukrainian president has accused the US envoy, Steve Witkoff, of spreading Russian narratives about its invasion. Vladimir Zelensky has been speaking as Mr. Witkoff and the US Secretary of State have been holding talks in Paris aimed at peace in Ukraine. And scientists have found new but tentative evidence a faraway world orbiting another star may be home to life. The team at the University of Cambridge spotted a chemical on a planet that's made by simple life forms.
Elon Musk, the richest person on the planet, advisor to the U.S. president.
USA!
The bare facts can make him sound like a comic book superhero or supervillain.
It's like Dark Knight, like the Joker is in charge.
I'm Jill Lepore, and my podcast delves in to the comic books and science fiction stories Musk read as a boy.
Foundation.
The Hitchhiker's Guide.
The Batman. To help understand the future he wants for all of us.
I'm Dark Gothic MAGA.
X-Man, the Elon Musk origin story.
Listen only on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sports
with Kelly Cates.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
We'll head back to Old Trafford very shortly for the second half of Manchester United against Lyon. United 2-0 up on the night, 4-2 up on aggregate there. Rangers are a goal down on the night against Bilbao, and they are 1-0 down on aggregate. Meanwhile, as we were hearing earlier, Tottenham lead Frankfurt by 1-0. They're 2-1 up on aggregate. Andros, in terms of Tottenham's performance, and we heard there James Maddison's gone off because of the injury that led up to the penalty, which was a tough challenge. Just to pick up on what John was saying, I think what the referees had explained before he went to look at it on the monitor, he thought it was just a natural coming together, even if it was very forceful. The penalty, though, was given. Tottenham lead, and are they good for the lead, Andros?
Probably not. I think it's been quite an even game. Spurs have been quite vulnerable when they've had possession. Frankfurt have countered them well, and it's only been Mickey van der Ven's pace and Romero's pace, which have got them out of trouble on 2 or 3 occasions. When Frankfurt have had the ball, Tottenham have been comfortable. But it's only when Spurs have the ball and Frankfurt counter that Spurs are very vulnerable to conceding. So they need to figure that out, maybe keep Udogie back or keep Porro back in the second half and just hold on to this lead.
The latest from all the European games and the games elsewhere still to come. In League 2, Bradford at 0, Notts County 0 at the moment as Bradford bid to go back to the top of the table. Former Ireland and Lions fly half Johnny Sexton has joined Andy Farrell's backroom team for the Lions tour to Australia this summer. 5 Live Rugby's Tom English told me it could be a controversial pick.
It is a little bit, Kelly. I mean, it had been rumoured previously, but Sexton is probably Ireland's greatest ever player, but he's a coach of very limited experience. He brought in by Andy Farrell in November as a consultant for the November tests, carried on in the Six Nations with a kind of, under Simon Easterby, with a kind of vague remit of like kicking coach, mentor to the young Irish fly halves, maybe contributing some thoughts on attack. I guess that would be his remit under the Lions. But obviously everyone in Scotland is immediately thinking, because there's a bit of history between Johnny Sexton and Finn Russell. It's one-way traffic, to be honest. What does this mean for Finn Russell? So it was a bit of a surprise, I have to say.
Yeah, the Finn Russell thing is interesting. Fly half's going to be one of the biggest talking points. And then there's that father-son aspect as well. Is it just as an added little bonus?
Absolutely, yeah. Johnny Sexton last autumn, when he was promoting his book, did some interviews, and in one of the interviews he did, he described, in quite derogatory terms actually, he described Finn Russell as flashy, and he called him a darling of the media, and said that if he was picking a Lions 10, then it would be Owen Farrell, because he said, I'd pick Owen Farrell. Who do you want in there when the going gets tough? Test match animals. I know who the media would want: Finn Russell, Marcus Smith, the flashy. Now, he kind of rode back on Marcus Smith, the criticism of Marcus Smith. We call him a generational player, but he didn't roll back on his criticism of Finn Russell. I think it's throughout his career, Kelly, even though it hasn't been publicly stated, I think Johnny has had a bit of an issue with the love bombing that Finn Russell gets in the media. Finn Russell, a wonderfully flamboyant player, but hasn't won much. Johnny probably didn't think he got the credit he deserved. And it certainly hurt when Finn Russell, in Johnny's mind, was picked ahead of him for the last Lions tour. It kind of crushed him, and Sexton made no secret of that it really, really did bother him that Russell was picked ahead of him. Now, they're kind of player and coach. You presume Russell is going to make the party. It'd be a sensation if he didn't. They're going to have to find a way of working together, and Johnny is going to have to start now looking at Finn not as a rival player, but as a player he needs to coach. He has to look at him through different eyes now.
Yeah, and is that one of the roles maybe that they're hoping that Johnny Sexton can take on, this bridge between the players and the coaches?
Yeah, and I think Sexton can do it. He's a very intelligent guy. He's obviously very intense. He's very different to Finn Russell, incredibly intense, and that was one of his great strengths as a player. He understands the players. He's still young. He's just retired, so he's still kind of bridging that gap between player and coach.
Tom, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Tom English with the very latest on the Lions team and more rugby union news available on the Rugby Union Daily podcast, which you can download on BBC Sounds. In Rugby League, in Super League, it's Wakefield 0, Castleford 12 at half-time. You can listen to live second half commentary of that on 5 Sports Extra. Half-time in Bradford, they have their sights set on the top of League 2. Nick Hatton, how's it going?
Yeah, they're not there just yet. Players just about to come out for this second half, Kelly. Bradford City 0, Notts County 0 at the break. A frenetic first 45 minutes in front of over 20,000 here this evening. Bit low on quality though, just one chance of note for either side. David McGoldrick for Notts County, shooting wide from 16 yards when well placed. Bradford City counter-attack from Bobby Poynton, run from him, shot from 20 yards out for Sam Slocum into a good save down to his left-hand side. A little bit low on quality, great in atmosphere. Half-time, it's Bradford City 0, Notts County 0.
And it's Manchester United 2, Lyon 0 at half-time. Rene, do you think Manchester United should look to hold on to this lead or capitalise on it and build on it?
Nah, the thing is to manage the game really, really well now, especially for the first 10, 15 minutes. They don't want to concede, first and foremost, because then it's game on again. Because Lyon, they have to come out. They have to do something. They have to turn something around. The earlier they can score that goal, they will be back in the game. But United is, I think they're playing really, really well. But we've seen moments where Lyon really can be dangerous. They nullify that in the first 15 to 20 minutes, they'll be fine.
Rennie, just to comment on the atmosphere at Old Trafford tonight, and Connor picked up on it, this is as loud probably as Old Trafford has been this season. The players have given them something to cheer about.
Absolutely, and that, it showed all in the intent, Kelly, and the hunger that United have shown. The runs, they were together. I thought the shape was really, really good. They pressed, they broke with pace and everything. That's what players want, and that's what the fans will want to see. They want to see something to shout about, and that's what Manchester United has given them in the first half.
And we can hear them now. But speaking over the crowd at Old Trafford this evening, Paul Robinson and Conor McNamara.
Thanks very much, Kelly. Yeah, Lyon have come out early for the second half. They've been out for a couple of minutes already. We haven't seen the re-emergence of the Manchester United team yet, but Luke Shaw is out on the field. And he's going through quite a strenuous warm-up routine there to suggest that if not coming on at half-time, it may not be too long until the England international is brought into Ruben Amorim's team. I mean, Paul Robinson alongside me, this could hardly have gone any better. I can't think of too many serious misplaced passes tonight. Everyone's had their eyes on what they're doing, the concentration, and so many of the bad habits that have plagued Manchester United of modern times have been absent tonight. Can they keep all that up now for another 45?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Speaking to a few of the journalists and the people in the press room, they're having a cup of tea at half-time, saying it, I said, what a dominant performance, best I've seen them play, 2-0. But the glass is always half empty at Old Trafford at the moment. But it's only 2. If they score early on, it could be nervous. The next goal, we always talk about the next goal in football, but it really is pivotal in this game. 3-0, it's done and dusted to United. But actually, if Lyon score the first goal within the first 10-15 minutes, the atmosphere changes very, very quickly. But I think the important thing for Manchester United is to start this second half the way that they did the first half. They started on the front foot, they were direct, they played with intent, and they were very good at the start of the game. That needs to continue.
I think Shaw's going to come on at half-time. I don't see Mazraoui back out there, so it would suggest that Luke Shaw is going to come on.
Yeah, Lenny Yoro's come over to this right-hand side, look to the right-hand side of Harry Maguire. Dalot will play right wing-back as usual. Lenny Yoro's come over to the right-hand side of the 3 centre-halves. Maguire in the middle, and Luke Shaw's going to play that third centre-half on the left-hand side, which I think really suits him, actually. If you can get Luke Shaw fit and playing well for a full season, I think this system that Ruben Amorim plays suits Luke Shaw. He can play as that left-sided centre-half, or if needs be, the wing-back. But I think the left-sided centre-half of the 3 is ideal for him.
Luke Shaw, who came on at Newcastle on Sunday, that was his first appearance since early December. Very different circumstance tonight. Manchester United, who lost 4-1 in the Premier League at St James's Park, but tonight they lead 4-2 on aggregate in this Europa League quarter-final, of which we are into the second half of the second leg. The goals from Ugarte and Dalot in the first half. Luke Shaw on for Mazraoui. Lyon need 2 goals, so we know what they're going to do. Is this going to play into the hands of Manchester United? And I think they are comfortable now, Paul, but a third goal, it's all over.
I think because they are fragile, like we spoke about, and they're not in a great vein of form at the moment. The Premier League results have been indifferent, especially here at Old Trafford. You would think, from a Manchester United point of view, the message from Ruben Amorim, certainly I would have said at half-time, was more of the same. Keep doing what you've been doing. Play those long balls in behind Tagliafico. The long balls slightly more direct. Yes, sit deep. Play on the counter-attack at times when needs be. But don't do anything differently, because if they sit back, it could be a long 45 minutes for them.
It's worth putting in context. We're singing the praises of Manchester United here. For Ruben Amorim, this is only the second time since his arrival at the club that he's had a 2-goal lead in any game at half-time. Here comes Dorgu for Manchester United, straight into the attack. Careless challenge on the far side, and it was Mata bringing down Garnacho. Free kick within shooting range. You can bet your bottom dollar that Bruno Fernandes is going to fancy this angle. Just outside the penalty area, left of centre. Garnacho still on the ground.
If you've just tuned in and you missed the first half, Bruno Fernandes had 2 unbelievable strikes at goal in the first half. one of which would have been the best goal that I've ever seen in my life that hit the crossbar. He really is in the mood for it tonight, Bruno Fernandes. You can only imagine from that angle. Yes, it's a fairly tight angle, almost level with the corner, the point of the 18-yard box, 5 yards out. You would argue it's a better crossing position, but at the moment you would think the form that he's in, Bruno Fernandes, this is going goalwards.
I'll tell you the position this is the exact position where Thiago Almada scored in the first leg, the one that came in as a cross-come shot towards the back post, which the keeper was afraid to react too early to and wasn't able to get it away. It's that angle, so just outside the penalty area. Left-hand side as Manchester United come forward. We haven't played 2 minutes yet since the restart. Bruno Fernandes standing over the ball, very much body language suggesting he's going to strike this. That's not the body language of someone who's going to cross, but it is a dink into that area, and it's put out for no, it's not. I was going to say corner, but the flag goes up. Manchester United were offside. Harry Maguire and Casemiro were all up there, and as the ball came in from Bruno Fernandes, I think it was Casemiro who was offside. Paul.
It was a great chance for Casemiro as well. Looking at the replay, he beats the ground in frustration. At that point, he doesn't know he's offside. Looked for all the world that Bruno Fernandes was going to strike, hit the strike on target, but he fooled everybody, and it was the run of Casemiro. He shouldn't be offside. He's looking along the line, strays offside, and he actually gets a free header 7 yards from goal, which he makes a real mess of.
Lyon, a bit like Manchester United, have a lot riding on this game tonight, and having twice come from behind in the first leg, they now must come from 2 goals behind here at Old Trafford. Tolisso, who already knows he'd miss a semi-final first leg if they go through because of his booking in the first half. Maitland-Niles spreads it over to the right wing. Ryan Cherki, he's the danger man, and immediately Luke Shaw comes out to man-mark him. It's a ball back in field to the captain Tolisso. Bruno Fernandes nibbles at the ankles but can't stop it. Here is Tagliafico, back to Tolisso once again. Manchester United with 11 players all back in their final third now, as Thiago Almada veers infield from left to right, then cuts back at himself. Cherki, who had been out on the right wing, now pops up on the left-hand side. Bit of space in the centre for Thiago Almada. Ugarte's working hard in front of him. Tolisso on the left wing now for Lyon. The French team would love a big start to the second half. They know if they could score early here, that brittle Manchester United confidence that Paul spoke about could be exposed. It makes this is a really critical juncture in the game now. Can Manchester United pick up where they left off? Ball into the penalty area. Tagliafico tries to control it. Euro was a bit clumsy the way he lunged, but Manchester United break it away out of the penalty area anyway. Lyon still have possession, but they're back now closer to the halfway line. This is Tagliafico again on the left-hand side, experienced Argentinian international. Thiago Almada, his compatriot, pushed away from the penalty area by Bruno Fernandes. Tagliafico gives it back to Thiago Almada again. Says, go on, have another try. It's now taken on by Ryan Cherki. Cherki, who came through as a bit of a wonder kid in France a few years ago as a young teenager, but he's not been able to find the pass there, and this is perfect now for Manchester United. Counter-attack, Garnacho sprinting into the penalty area, turns, Mata, must be saved by Perry. One-on-one with the goalkeeper. Garnacho did everything right, but the shot was saved by the keeper.
What an opportunity for Manchester United. What an opportunity for Garnacho to put this game to bed. He does everything right. It's a long ball over the top from the halfway line. He's got the run on Maitland-Niles. He gets goal side of him. Then when Maitland-Niles goes to tackle him, he checks. He takes the defender completely out of the game. He stood with all the time in the world. 8 yards out from goal, on the angle. Only Lucas Perry to beat. He goes to shape to go across him, but Perry's clever. He stands up and he reads it. Garnacho closes his foot, tries to be clever and put it in the near post, but the goalkeeper stands big, stands firm, makes a good block, but Garnacho has got to score. What an opportunity for Garnacho.
Garnacho, who's been shown a yellow card for a pull on the shirt of Mata. There's a goal at Stamford Bridge in the Conference League. Chelsea against Legia with Sahil Sahi.
The visitors are back in front here, Connor. It's Chelsea 1, Legia Warsaw 2. It's come from a corner, wasn't cleared by the Chelsea defence, and the centre-half, Steve Capoeira, he was 6 yards away. He just headed it home. Chelsea 1, Legia Warsaw 2. Chelsea lead 4-2 overall.
Well, Notts County in pursuit of an automatic promotion place. Bradford in pursuit of going back to the top of League Two. Nick Hatton is up the Valley Parade.
And the chance that we are top of the league will tell you that Bradford City lead by a goal to nil. Kieran Kelly has it, a flicked header from a free kick on the right from Brandon Keeler. Wrenched it into the top corner. Sam Slocum grasping it thin air. Bradford City have the lead. Bradford City 1, Notts County 0.
51 minutes of the stadium clock at Old Trafford. Patrick Dorgu was on the attack, stepping into the Lyon penalty area. Left-footed shot that was always rising, and it sails over the crossbar. 2-0 on the night, 4-2 on aggregate. Manchester United lead. Here's Paul Robinson.
Garnacho's been lively, hasn't he? He's been a real thorn in the side of Ainsley Maitland-Niles all night. Gets another opportunity there into the path of Dorgu, but that opportunity that he had 2 minutes or so ago before we went for the updates, he should have scored. He should have put this game to bed for Manchester United. He could have settled all the nerves. The atmosphere inside the stadium would have immediately changed. That third goal is of crucial importance for Manchester United. He does everything right, just can't apply the finish.
Lyon are preparing a double change. Now this is interesting. They're going to bring on an old foe of Manchester United. Former Arsenal striker Alexander Lacazette is about to be introduced here. They're also going to bring on the American Teshman in just a moment. 2-0 to Manchester United on the night. As things stand in Europe, Rangers will be going out. They're 1-0 down, both on the night and aggregate against Athletic Bilbao. Tottenham 1-0 in front at Frankfurt. If both those games stay like that, it will be Bilbao against Spurs in the semi-final. And then on the other side of the draw, Lazio still behind against Bodo Glimt. Manchester United in front here. It could be Manchester United against the Norwegian side Bodo Glimt in the Europa League semi-final.
I think they'd have taken that at the start of the season, wouldn't they? But listen, don't underestimate Bodo Glimt, because they've been a real surprise package this season.
Lyon have possession. They still have time on their side. There's a long way to go at Old Trafford. Lyon attacking the Stretford end. Veertu, number 7 on his back, veers from left into a more central location, gives it short to Tolisso, helps it on to Cherki, back to Tolisso again. Lyon trying to drum up a bit of momentum here, which all bar a few minutes in the first half. They had a good spell for about 10 minutes. Apart from that, they've struggled to get in this second leg. Lyon played better at home in the first leg last week. Here is Thiago Almada. 5 yards outside the penalty area. Bruno Fernandes standing him up, gives it to Tagliafico on the left-hand side. Back in field again to Paul Akiyuoko. None of these Lyon players holding on to the ball for very long. 1-2 touches, then they release it to a teammate. Clinton Mata to the right-hand side to Ainsley Maitland-Niles, the former Arsenal West Brom player. He gives it to the feet of Veertu. They're being patient here, Lyon. They're waiting for the right moment. Mata plays it into the penalty area. Tagliafico, awkward. Tolisso, what a save by Onana! Brilliant turn, 180 degrees by Tolisso. He kept it low and he kept it hard, and Onana, diving to his right, made the save.
Excellent reaction save by Andre Onana. Good footwork in and around his 6-yard box. Again, it's another save that you would expect him to make, but maybe a few weeks ago he might not have made that save with his confidence being low. He holds his position. Goalkeepers out of confidence quite often, you find they come off the line, they try and get involved in things that they shouldn't be getting involved with. Their positional sense goes and they're not in the right place in the goal. Now Andre Onana, that's the second time tonight he's been a yard, 2 yards off his line, exactly where he should have been. It's a decent strike by Tolisso down to his right hand side, but he gets a big strong hand on it and beats it away to keep his clean sheet intact.
Right, well the changes are Veertu is going it off and Akiyuoko as well, so 2 midfielders departing as Lyon trying to shoot on the edge of the area here with Cherki. It's ricocheted high up into the air. Casemiro is the one who clears it away. Tessman goes into the midfield. Lacazette adds to the attack. So they're changing their formation here, the French side, as they much do. They need 2 goals, and the Europa League journey ends here tonight at Old Trafford. What about Tottenham Hotspur in Germany? John Akers.
7 minutes of the second half gone, Connor. Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1 on the night. 2-1 Spurs on aggregate. Since the break, it's been all Frankfurt. And Shaibi's just had a free kick from 25 yards. Whistle past Vicario's right-hand post. Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1. Spurs lead 2-1 on aggregate.
Thanks very much, John. So in terms of the British teams, as things stand, Chelsea are going through, Manchester United are going through, Tottenham Hotspur are going through. So Rangers, the focus goes towards them. Gavin Wallace.
At the moment, they're going out. Connor, Athletic Club 1, Rangers 0. That penalty on the death at half-time. Rangers changing things up, though. Hadji and Balogun off. Nsiala and Igaman coming on. Igaman, a real threat for Rangers as they try and push. But at the moment, they're down 1-0 on the night and on aggregate.
Thanks very much, Gavin. 2-0 to Manchester United here on the night. Ugarte and Dello, 2 goals in the first half. Alexander Lacazette, who's come on for Lyon, is their joint top scorer this season. Thiago Almada has possession on the left-hand side. Plays it in outside of the right boot. That was a brilliant delivery. Mikotadze was very close to it. As Niakate tries to control, Mikotadze again with the right-footed shot. Goes into the Manchester United fans of the Stretford end. That was well wide of Andre Onana's goal there. But Lyon have just shifted up a gear, Paul. They're giving it everything now.
Well, it's a change in system as well, isn't it? With Lacazette coming on, the two midfielders going off. Two midfielders going on, been replaced by one midfielder, and then Lacazette being that figurehead now up front with Mikotadze. They've got to go all out for it now. They're chasing the game. Obviously, they need to get back into it. The changes that Paulo Fonseca's made are very positive ones from a Lyon point of view.
Well, this is the risk that Paulo Fonseca has to take. He's committing bodies forward. He knows this is going to expose his defence to Manchester United counter-attacks, but it's a gamble he has to play. As Maitland-Niles clears away on the edge of his own penalty area, the ball bounces into the technical area. Paulo Fonseca down there, a central defender in his playing days. He's been manager at Roma, at AC Milan. Paulo Ferreira, the former Chelsea defender, is one of his backroom staff down there. And we say it again, the noise inside Old Trafford tonight has been of a volume that I've not heard. I've been a lot of games here this season. They're competing with the Lyon fans who, I don't know if you're right, Paul, and more have come in, or whether they've just spread out a bit more, but they're filling their section a bit more now, and they're certainly filling the volume as well. As here's Garnacho in the penalty area, shoots from a tight angle and puts it over the crossbar, and Højlund has a shout at him there. He wanted that played in. He said that angle was too tight to shoot. You should have tried to cross to me.
Yeah, he's frustrated there, Rasmus Højlund, because for once he times his run well, gets in front of his centre-half. Garnacho it's too tight an angle. He's about 4 or 5 yards out on the angle, chooses to hit it with his left foot. Rasmus Højlund protests with him. He should have looked up, rolled it across to the striker.
Højlund was visibly hopping mad there, literally, and he kicked the post as well in frustration. He wants to join the party here with the goals tonight, Rasmus Højlund. Good sliding tackle from Niakate to ensure that Bruno Fernandes is not able to progress down the right-hand side. 58 minutes exactly on the clock. This is Dalot preparing to take a throw in, level with the edge of the penalty area. Right-hand side as Manchester United come forward, knowing that one more goal will seal this. I mean, 2 will quite likely be good enough anyway, but a third really would seal it. Højlund in the penalty area, good back heel to Dalot, back across the edge of the 6-yard box. Dorgu misses, should have scored.
What a chance, what an incredible chance. This time it's a Dorgu. Good 1-2 again, Casemiro with a Cruyff turn 1-2 into Højlund, again onto Dalot, puts the ball across, it's not cleared properly, falls to Dorgu at the far post, ball won't quite sit down for him, but it's still a good opportunity, hits it on the volley over the bar. That's 2 really good opportunities that Manchester United have had to put this game to bed, probably against the run of play in the second half, but that's what they need.
Yeah, really good from Casemiro and Højlund in the build-up there. And Patrick Dorgu, who's never scored for Manchester United, if it had gone in, I think there would have been appeals that he might have handled it unintentionally controlling, that Lyon would have said, well, because he's in the act of scoring a goal, it should be disallowed. But it doesn't matter anyway, because he sent it wide of the target. 2-0 on the night to Ruben Amorim's team. 4-2 they lead on aggregate against French side Lyon. Tolisso, that's a quite tired delivery into the penalty area there, and then when Tolisso tries to make amends, he fouls Bruno Fernandes. Tolisso's going to be careful, he's already on a yellow. It's going to be a free kick to Manchester United, and both players are down. Tolisso's hurt himself there in the process of fouling Bruno Fernandes.
He's clever, Bruno Fernandes. He just has a quick look over his right shoulder. You can see that Tolisso's coming in at pace, puts himself in between the ball and the man. He knows that he's going to get checked. Tolisso comes in, he's hurt his right ankle, Tolisso. You can see he's down clutching his right ankle. Fernandes is still down as well.
They're both down. Yeah, it was brave from Bruno Fernandes. He knew there was a risk of getting crunched there, and both players, I'm glad to report, are now back to their feet. This little break in play, just a chance to remind you of the teams. So an Allen goal for Manchester United, Luke Shaw, who came on at half-time with Maguire and Yoro as the 3 central defenders, Dalot and Dorgu the wing-backs, Casemiro and Ugarte, who got the opening goal tonight in the midfield, with Garnacho and Fernandes in support of Højlund. And much change for Lyon with their substitutes in this second half. They've got Perry in goal. They haven't changed the defence. Hang on, here's Dalot into the penalty area, right-hand side, trying to put it back for Garnacho, and it's cut out by Tessman, and back to the goalkeeper Perry. They've got Tessman and Tolisso in the midfield, and then it's all on attack with Mikotadze and Lacazette through the middle, Cherki and Thiago Almada on the flanks. Back to Rangers endeavours in Spain. Gavin Wallace.
Well, they're starting to come back into this a little bit. Desser's tried an overhead kick from 7 yards corner. He missed it. It hits off him, lands at Nico Raskin's feet, who rattled it off the post. Rangers might just start to come back here. It is, though, Athletic Club 1, Rangers 0.
I think rattled is one of my favourite words in a Gavin Wallace accent. He delivers rattled very well. Thanks, Gavin. Here at Old Trafford, 2-0 to Manchester United tonight. Tolisso coming forward for Lyon. Tagliafico on the left-hand side. Has a little look up, gives it back into Tolisso, further across to Clinton Mata. They've all really pushed forward now. There's a real congested zone on the edge of the Manchester United penalty area with Lyon attackers and Manchester United defenders, and Luke Shaw gets a calming, experienced touch there to Garnacho just to relieve a bit of the pressure. And now Dorgu, that was a bit high risk, a ball across the penalty area which Bruno Fernandes just hoofed away. Anyway will do. That was unnecessary from Dorgu there, when Manchester United need calm and they need control. They've got a 2-goal lead. They are on the cusp of a Europa League semi-final with half an hour to play here.
Yeah, we're at the real cusp of the game, a turning point in the game. Well, what do Manchester United do now? Because Lyon are having a lot of possession and Manchester United are getting deeper and deeper in that low block. Every single player is within 10 yards of the Manchester United blocks, but actually when the defensive duties are in front of them, they're okay. Manchester United, they're not having any problems at the moment.
Here's Lacazette, who's come on as a sub, tried to play a first-time pass, but it's cut out on the edge of the D. He's still lurking there. Alexander Lacazette, he's got 15 goals this season, the former Arsenal striker. Arsenal, who paid 50 million back in the day to sign him from Lyon, and then he returned on a free back to Lyon at the end of that. Here's Rasmus Højlund trying to hold it up for Manchester United here. Casemiro flicks it with the outside of the right boot. Good pass to Bruno Fernandes on the right hand side. Fofana's getting ready to come on for Lyon. Oh, Tagliafico, that's not clever. He has chopped into Bruno Fernandes. That is some Lyon frustration being vented there, and Tagliafico now joins Tolisso that he would miss the semi-final first leg if Lyon go through, because that's another yellow card for him.
He's not having a good night, Tagliafico. That was just a blatant kick out of Bruno Fernandes in frustration, right down beneath us here, beneath the assistant on our near side. Bruno Fernandes has played well. He can see it coming. He just waits, invites the challenge.
He's got 69 caps for Argentina, Tagliafico. He's a very experienced operator, and that is a yellow card to show he is losing his cool here. Fofana has come on in place of Mikotadze. So Mikotadze, 9 goals in his last 8 games. He was one to look out for in the build-up to this quarter-final, but he will depart, and young Fofana comes on in his place. Fofana, he's one that the manager will have wanted to use. He's been out injured for a few weeks, hasn't he? He's been a big part of their season. He's got 10 goals, 5 assists. Young player, 20 years old, Belgian international. He really is a top quality player. He'll play on this left hand side, gives them a little bit more balance. Now Lacazette's come on, Mikotadze's gone off, and Fofana will play on the left. Fofana's scored in his last 2 home games for Lyon that he's played in. As Paul said, he's just come back off a knee injury. But again, it's needs must for Lyon. They've got to gamble here tonight. They need 2 goals or Manchester United are going through, as Casemiro picks a good pass to Garnacho here. Crossing position on the left-hand side. Has a little look up. Not a great delivery. Fofana will pick it up on the edge of the area. He had options there, Garnacho, and you could audibly hear the groans from the Manchester United fans as the pass went astray. Dalot commits a foul. Free kick to Lyon just outside their own penalty area. Paul Robinson.
You would think now, with 65 minutes just about to tick around on the clock, that Paulo Fonseca, he's made his substitutions, his game-changing substitutions already. 2 down, obviously 4-2 on aggregate. Something has got to change, and got to change quickly. The only thing that you can look at on the bench that maybe Nemanja Matic will be one that comes off. That could be a change between now and the end of the game. But at the moment, all Lyon's attacking options are on the field. What he's got, he's going to go with here.
Lyon seeing a lot of the ball. They've had 77% possession since half-time as Manchester United protects their lead. Fofana hoping to win a corner here, but good work sliding across by Lenny Yoro to ensure that goes out for a throw-in and not a corner kick. But Lyon will remain on the attack as we go to League Two. Bradford, Notts County, Nick Catton.
Notts County a level. An absolute stunner from David McGoldrick. Picked the ball up on the left-hand side, fully 25 yards out, and bent it superbly around Sam Walker in the Bradford City goal. So a nestle in the top left-hand corner. Bradford City 1, Notts County 1.
So like us, still have 20-25 minutes to go there. Manchester United still leading 2-0. It's about time we checked in with events at the Deutsche Bank Park. Frankfurt against Tottenham Hotspur. John Akers.
Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1. Spurs lead 2-1 on aggregate. 64 minutes gone, and Spurs have just had their first couple of attacks of the half. Kulusevski with a left foot shot on the angle, blocked from the resultant corner. A header just wide, inches wide from Romero. Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1. They lead 2-1 on aggregate.
Dorgo here has just committed a foul on Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and that has given Lyon a free kick. Now, it's not a shooting position, but it is a dangerous crossing position. It's wide on the right-hand side, 10 yards outside the penalty area. Manchester United's defenders are holding a line along the penalty spot. Onana comes, gets a little touch to it, not completely convincing, but he's done enough. Onana back at his goal line here as Fofana has possession for Lyon just outside the penalty area. Fofana gets it back from Tagliafico. Since he's come on, his teammates are passing to Fofana. They feel that he could be the key to get them back into this as Casemiro clears away. Luke Shaw tries to get to the ball but collides with an opponent. Referee says play on. There's a player down with a head injury. Surprised the referee hasn't held up play here. One of the Lyon players lying down on the deck. The referee standing right over him to see if he's okay, and he is okay. That's very good refereeing. Chance for Thiago Almada. Chips it into the penalty area, but behind Fofana, and that'll be shielded and shepherded by Ugarte, and he gets the goal kick, which the Manchester United fans roar their approval of how he stuck to his guns there. I like that from the referee. Sandro Scherer there. Yes, it was a head injury, but he was standing right over the player, and he could see that Tolisso was okay, and he allowed play to continue.
From minute one, the referee's been consistent. He's let a lot go in this game, but the one thing you ask for with the referee is consistency. Whether it's through the course of a season, it's very difficult to get with the number of referees that you get refereeing your game. But actually, within a game, the referee set his stall out early on. He wasn't going to be overly whistle happy. He was going to let things go. He's booked players where it's needed to be, but actually he's been on the spot, on the ball, and he's let the game flow.
Ruben Amorim prowls up and down in his technical area. Could the Europa League paper over a lot of the cracks that we've seen in Manchester United in recent times? And he knows in itself a trophy won't solve everything, because, Eric Ten Hag won the FA Cup last season. But I think for the mood, for the finances, for the feeling that this is still a club going places, winning the Europa League could be everything for Ruben Amorim. It really could launch his Manchester United tenure. Here's Dallo into the penalty area again, already on the score sheet today, but this shot is well wide of the target. Paul Robinson.
I think we touched on it in the first half about his tactics and about the European style that Manchester United seem to play with this 3-4-2-1 that he's absolutely wedded to, and he's adamant that he's not changing it. It's not worked in the Premier League, and I think if he is going to be successful in the Premier League, he may have to show a little bit of adaptability going forward in certain games. Don't be so predictable to play against. This tactic works in the Cup, it works in the Europa League. We've seen that, because they're the only team unbeaten in this league, and every time they play on a Thursday night in the Europa League, they play well, they're putting good performances, and this system works against European teams. It doesn't necessarily work in the Premier League, so maybe for his point of view as a coaching point next season, maybe has to be slightly more adaptable and work on other systems within pre-season, so Manchester United can change from being so predictable.
Manchester United 4-2 up here on aggregate. Ruben Amorim was asked about all this in the press conference yesterday, and he was saying, yeah, it's great to get in the Champions League and all that, but as Fofana comes from the left-hand side, he said it's going to put a lot of extra pressure, a lot of miles on the clock next season, a lot of games in between Premier League games, and he feels that is time that he could maybe spend on the training ground with his players. But I think he's just making an insurance policy there if things don't go well here. The Pyros have come out from Lyon. I think this is a great sign for Manchester United. They've lit all their bright red fireworks. They were clearly keeping these, Paul, to use in goal celebrations. I think letting them off at a lull in the game like this suggests that Lyon fans aren't too confident the goal's going to come for them.
Well, I and Manchester United fans will love your optimism, Connor, and from their point of view, I hope you're right.
Let's go back to John Akers watching Tottenham in Frankfurt. John.
Spurs have just had their second really good look at goal from a corner. Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1. Bentancur this time, free header, puts it over the crossbar, was furious with himself. They lead 2-1 on aggregate, Spurs.
20 minutes to go here. We'll go for an update on the Rangers game in Bilbao in just a moment, but this is a key point. This is Thiago Almada standing over a free kick for Lyon. 10 yards inside the penalty area, right hand side, not a shooting position, but all of his teammates are in there to aim at. Here comes the ball, played into the middle, Casemiro wins the header, he's not got it out of the penalty area, back in across the face of goal, it's in! It's a goal back for Lyon! It's 2-1 on the night, it's 4-3 on aggregate, and suddenly Manchester United are standing on rather thin ice. It's Tolisso, Corentin Tolisso, who knows he can't play in the semi-final first leg if they get there, but his header has reduced the deficit down to just 1 goal now. This is a big plot twist, Paul Robinson.
20 minutes to go, 20 nervy minutes inside Old Trafford. This is the goal that nobody with a red persuasion wanted to see or hear about. It's a simple free kick from Lyon, headed up in the air by Casemiro, not really cleared properly. Niakate heads it back across the box. Lacazette flicks it on. Talisso's got a really simple job from 3 or 4 yards out to head home into the bottom left-hand corner. Onana can do nothing. The Manchester United fans are stunned, and the pyrotechnics have done the trick.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves a bit of drama tonight on BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Sounds and BBC Radio Manchester, because this Europa League quarter-final has become a 7-goal thriller, if you like, over the 2 legs. This is a new lease of life for Lyon, because they look down and out, but goals change games, and Tolisso's header, suddenly now we're wondering, how will Manchester United react to this? It's been all Lyon in the second half, let's be fair. And here comes Maitland-Niles, down the right-hand side, good ball in. Euro has only cleared it to Lacazette. Lacazette can't get the shot away, pulls it back, chance, Thiago Almada puts it over the crossbar. That was a chance for Lyon, and suddenly Manchester United are looking very worried. 2-1 in the night, 4-3 on aggregate to Ruben Amorim's team.
Goals change games, and goals change games very quickly. All of a sudden that brittle confidence, that fragility, that susceptibility has crept in Manchester United. The unbelievable atmosphere that we spoke about inside Old Trafford. There's only one section that's singing now, and that's away to our right-hand side, and it's the Lyon fans. Their team, they believe that goal's just given them a little slice of hope in this second half. It's going to be a nervy finish for Manchester United if they're going to try and hold on to this.
Tolisso's 9th goal in all competitions this season. The assist was claimed by Alexander Lacazette. And there's an image on our television screens of a young Manchester United fan biting his fingernails, which I think is very apt for the mood around here now. It's been a big European night at Old Trafford. Manchester United fans have got behind their team all evening. Now for the first time there's a little lull in the volumes, there's a buzz around, and suddenly the Lyon fans feel louder and louder as Tolisso comes forward again. Lacazette tries to return it to him. Thiago Almada takes over and spins the ball out to the right hand side to Cherki. Early ball into the penalty area. Maitland-Niles is allowed to turn, stabs it towards the back post but too close to Onana, and Andre Onana, much to the relief of Manchester United fans, makes the save. 74 minutes played, 2-1 on the night to Manchester United.
They're desperate for a spell of calm, Manchester United now. They just need to get on the ball, hold possession, have Lyon chasing the ball, chasing the possession, settle the game down, because they keep losing possession.
Well, apologies to Gavin Wallace, we signposted we were going to come to you for an update, but it's all happening here at Old Trafford as Fofana steps into the penalty area. Fofana on his right boot after there'd been a slip by Euro. Maybe a chance. Maitland-Niles saved by Onana. He got down, he saved it, he propelled it high in the air. Manchester United finally clear the ball out of the penalty area, and Garnacho is away. He gives Mata the slip. He steps on the accelerator. Mata working hard to get back. Garnacho goes down in the penalty area, and the referee says free kick the other way. Free kick to Lyon, end to end in this quarter-final at Old Trafford. 4-3 Manchester United lead.
Brilliant defending by Clinton Mata. He gets done by Andre Garnacho. He gets the wrong side of him. Garnacho's done him for pace. He gets into the box, but Mata uses his strength, puts himself goal side, and he makes the challenge. Garnacho appealing to the referee for a penalty, but that really is a brilliant piece of Lyon defending.
Finally a break in play here, so back to the Bilbao Rangers game and Gavin Wallace.
Yeah, it's still 1-0 at the moment to Athletic Club. Rangers really trying to push and pull and get something into this. There was a great chance towards the back post for Dessers, but DeMarcos headed it out. It remains 1-0 on the night, 1-0 in aggregate. Back to your drama.
Thanks very much, Gavin. We've just in a moment here that I'm very confident the images of this are going to go viral. because there was a shot a few moments ago by Fofana, the Lyon player, which was blocked away, and we've just seen the replay of how it was blocked. Lenny Yoro, who had stumbled to his feet when Fofana cut in field of him, threw his head out, and I mean, that was remarkable bravery. He's thrown his head to make the block from being on the ground, and he's succeeded, and he's blocked the ball away.
That's what's called putting your body on the line to the extreme. I mean, he went for the initial block and he lost his footing, completely slipped, and he knew that Fofana was going to shoot, but he was a yard away, and he did like a worm movement across the floor, stuck his head in front of the shot, and from all of 2 yards away, Fofana's walloped this at Yoro's head. And he's getting some treatment over to our left-hand side. Thankfully, he's up and walking off the field to play. That was incredible bravery.
That was the perfect description of what he did there. He's on the ground, his hands by a worm movement to stretch forward, to stick out his head, and he made the block. So Manchester United hanging on to their lead here. They've got a 1-goal advantage with a quarter of an hour to play. What about Tottenham in Germany? John Akers.
Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1, 16 minutes plus added time to go. Spurs leading 2-1 on aggregate. Frankfurt pushing, space in behind now. Solanke's just had a shot blocked. Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1.
This is high entertainment now for neutrals watching on. The visiting fans from Lyon are very buoyant at the moment. They know their team has got a lot of the ball. They know they've come from 2-0 down tonight to have it at 2-1. They know that they, in the first leg, came from 1-0 down and 2-1 down to get equalisers. So they're confident it can happen again. And Manchester United hanging on as Fofana sends it across on the left-hand side. Shot on the back post. Tagliafico saved in the line by Onana. And Lacazette pounces to score. And it's all level again. Lyon have come from 2-0 down on the night to level again at 2-2. Onana saved, but he can only push it straight to Lacazette, and the former Arsenal man scores at the Stretford end. 2-2 on the night, 4-4 on aggregate. What unbelievable drama, Paul Robinson.
The drama just seems to follow Manchester United around, doesn't it? We said that this game wasn't done and the next game was going to be vitally important. That brutality, that fragility, the susceptibility was there for everyone to see. The nerves, the anxiety, it's been creeping in all second half. Since Fofana's come on, he's been excellent. This time he's on the left-hand side, he gets past Dalot, puts a lovely cross into the far post, into the path of Maitland-Niles. He kind of scuffs his shot across the goal, into Tagliafico, hits it first time with his right foot. Onana looks like he's initially made the save, but on the replay, Onana's poured it out the goal. It's Tagliafico's goal with his right foot at the far post. Lacazette makes sure, but Tagliafico's got his side back in this.
Yes, so just to confirm, the shot by Tagliafico, which was clawed away by Onana, replays are showing us the proof that the ball had gone over the line before Onana pushed it out. And as Paul says, Lacazette made sure anyway, but that goal is going to go to Tagliafico. This is all going wrong for Ruben Amorim. His team have conceded 2 goals in 7 minutes, and from a feeling of real comfort in this quarter-final, it's suddenly all square again. And Manchester United, they find it impossible to do things the easy way these days.
Everything that Ruben Amorim will not have wanted, or Manchester United fans will not have wanted. They'll have wanted an easy passage through. 2-0 up at half-time. 2-0 is always a difficult scoreline, because if the away team get one back, it's always a fine balance. What do you do? Do you protect what you've got, or do you go and try and get the third and win the game? And Manchester United, all their, what do you call it, their worries, their anxieties, it was there for everyone to see as soon as that first goal went in.
Manchester United free kick taken by Bruno Fernandes, won in the air by Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Lacazette stands on the ball on the edge of the penalty area, but no damage there because the flag is raised and Manchester United were offside. 4-4 here, 10 minutes away from extra time. What about Bilbao Rangers, Gavin Wallace?
It's not looking good. It's now 2-0 to Bilbao against Rangers. Nico Williams at the back post. It was a delicious ball into that back post area corner, and Nico Williams, who was outstanding in the first leg, has made his mark in the second leg, heads home from 1 or 2 yards. Athletic Club 2, Rangers 0.
4-4 on aggregate between Manchester United and Olympique Lyonnais. And so much of the noise inside the stadium is coming from the French supporters, who, massively outnumbered, are really making themselves heard now. And they know, Paul, they've got Manchester United on the rack here. Can Ruben Amorim's team get back on the bike and pedal? Because at the moment they're floundering as Tolisso comes forward. Lacazette gives it to Cherki, just outside the penalty area. Further out on the right-hand side, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who provided the assist for the Tagliafico goal. There's a great surge to the byline, back across the face of goal, and Onana, after it initially slipped from his gloves, was able to grab the ball at the second attempt. 9 minutes to go of normal time.
The visitors are well on top at the moment. Manchester United looking very shaky. They'll do well to hold on to what they've got. They're looking to play on the counter-attack. They're very deep.
Dalot up to Bruno Fernandes, and across, sweeping across. Tanner Tessman makes the challenge and puts the ball out of play. Throw into Manchester United, and they're not hanging about. Back to Frankfurt, John Akers.
Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1. Spurs leading 2-1 on aggregate, but Frankfurt have just gone close twice. A brilliant save from Vicario, from Chaibi, and we've just had a substitution. Sars on for Tel. Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1. 2-1 Spurs on aggregate.
Tolisso here is very animated about something, and I'm not sure what that's about, but Bruno Fernandes has done a nutmeg on the Lyon captain. Two number 8s up against each other, and Bruno Fernandes nutmegged it. But then the pass towards Dalot doesn't reach the target. Tagliafico gets it back, and Lyon have possession. Foul by Ugarte. Free kick to Lyon. 10 yards outside their own penalty area. We're going to put you on the spot, Paul Robinson. Who wins this from here? 4-4.
What did I say to you before the game, Connor? I said, have you put an extra ticket on your car? Because I think we're going to extra time. Yeah, absolutely.
Before a ball was kicked, you anticipated this.
Yeah, I think you can see the way that the two teams are evenly matched. But if you'd have asked me at half-time how dominant Manchester United were in the first half, I would have said no, Manchester United will go on. How will they rue now those two really good missed opportunities that Garnacho had right at the beginning of this second half to potentially put the game to bed at 3-0, whereas at the moment now they're hanging on.
Tolisso and Tagliafico with the two goals that have completely changed the narrative here in the second half. If you're joining our coverage late, Manchester United led 2-0 at half-time. Ugarte and Dalot. However, Tolisso and Tagliafico have got it back all square, both on the night and on aggregate. It was 2-2 last week in France. It's 2-2 here in Manchester this evening. Ugarte gives it out to the left wing. Garnacho doesn't control, and suddenly those bad habits that Manchester United have been plagued with all season are creeping back in and looking evident. You know, they were so confident and focused in the first half, Paul. It's crumbling here from Ruben Amorim, and he's got to try and get them settled again.
And you can hear the moans and groans as well with a misplaced pass. Nobody wants to be the one to give the ball away in the final third. Nobody wants to be the one who puts the ball at risk. They went from a team who were almost unrecognisable to themselves in the first half to revert into type in this second half.
Mancunian fingernails being bitten all over the stadium. 2-2 on the night, and yet, tantalisingly, there is still the chance of progress for both of these teams. Garnacho has it on the far side. Mason Mount has taken off his tracksuit top. He's going to be the next taxi off the rank for Manchester United here. He may have a half an hour of extra time to play. This is Bruno Fernandes, just outside the penalty area. Tries to shoot. Good brave block by Fofana. And then, despite the best attempts of Hoyland to keep it in play, it does go out for a goal kick to Lyon. And the clock ticks on. Just over 6 minutes to go. Any goal now would likely win this Europa League quarter-final.
He works so hard, Rasmus Højlund, but he works hard in the wrong areas and he chases lost causes. He works extremely hard in between the width of the penalty area, but you look at him sometimes and he's running for running's sake. He doesn't work effectively.
Manchester United as a collective are working hard tonight, but they're going to need more than just perspiration. They're going to need some inspiration as Tolisso comes forward for Lyon. Lyon will look more comfortable in possession now. Cherki to the edge of the box. Thiago Almada to Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Cross on the right-hand side. Dalot under pressure, surrounded by teammates. Does well to head it outside the penalty area, but Fofana is able to pick it up. Lyon here attacking the Stretford end. Challenged by Ugarte. Gives away a free kick just outside the box. Tricky Rayhan Cherki, who turns so effortlessly. He's able to spin and move in a different direction, and he draws those tackles in. He's so difficult to stop. Free kick to Lyon coming up in just a moment, but quickly back to John Akers. Frankfurt Tottenham. John.
Frankfurt should be level, Connor. Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1, 2-1 on aggregate. Christensen, left-footed, running onto it, unmarked, 10 yards. Put it wide. Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1, 8 minutes to go plus added time.
And you return to us here at Old Trafford at a moment of high jeopardy. This is a free kick within shooting range. Andre Onana, beaten 4 times already in this quarter-final, is erecting a 4-man wall which is inside the penalty area. This is about 4 or 5 paces outside the box. It's slightly left of centre. This suits a right-footed kicker. Lacazette is standing over the ball. Thiago Almada is standing over the ball. And they're all having a very good look at this. And Garnacho's laid down on the ground as the draft excluder. Oh, this is a big moment, Paul.
If you wanted a free kick in a position anywhere around the edge of the box, this is where you would place it. This is a perfect location.
Cherki standing as a left-footed option. I think it's going to be Thiago Almada, though, to take. Swiss referee lining up behind them. Here is Thiago Almada. The wall does its job. Euro and Casemiro jumping together, able to block the ball away. Dallo with work to do now to mop this up in the right full-back position. And he puts it out of place, so Lyon remain on the attack. A little break in play will allow Manchester United to make their change. And Manuel Ugarte, scorer of the first goal tonight, will be the first to depart. It's going to be a double swap here. Kobbie Mainoo's coming on, and Højlund is one of those who makes way. So they're taking off the centre forward, and they're taking off a central midfielder, and they're bringing on Mason Mount and Kobbie Mainoo.
Well, they've got no recognised striker on the field now, Manchester United. With Højlund going off, Mainoo and Mount coming on, Ugarte going off, you can only think that Garnacho or Fernandes is going to play as the main striker, as the number 9. I can't imagine it's going to be Mason Mount.
So Manchester United in the shape of Mount and Mainoo and Shaw. They've got 3 players who don't have a lot of miles on the clock this season, but they are now on the field at this crucial juncture on a night that Manchester United's entire campaign is dangling now by a thread, and so much of next season dangling by that same thread. Win the Europa League, they get into the Champions League, they're back in the elites, they get all the money. This can be a transformative competition if they could go through in the semi-finals tonight by winning this quarter-final, but 4-4 against a Lyon team who started badly, let's remember, but have really grown into the game away from home this evening.
There's the answer to my question as to who's going to play as the number 9. It's Kobbie Mainoo. He's playing as the main number 9 with Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho and Mason Mount as a 3 in behind him. It's an attacking change by Ruben Amorim, but I'm surprised that the attacker who is given the job of being the number 9, because Kobbie Mainoo certainly, I mean, he played as a false 9, he played as a number 10. I think he was quite effective in a number 10 role, but actually leading the line as a number 9 at this stage in a game where Manchester United need goals.
Kobbie Mainoo, who came on as a late sub at Newcastle on Sunday, that was his first Premier League appearance since February. An extra emphasis and responsibility on Casemiro now in the middle of the midfield. Since Ugarte's gone off, Bruno Fernandes will drop back a little deeper, and Mount will play where Bruno Fernandes was, but Casemiro, with those ageing legs, he's got to see through potentially another half an hour of this with extra time looming. We have got 2 minutes of the 90 to go.
Just don't understand it from Ruben Amorim, I really don't. I know that Rasmus Højlund's probably his only fit striker at the moment, but playing Kobbie Mainoo, Manchester United need a goal. Yes, he's got Garnacho and Mason Mount in behind him. I may be proved wrong.
Still only 19 years of age, Kobbie Mainoo. His birthday this week. As down goes Lenny Euro, that looked like a trip. Free kick to Manchester United. Yellow card is coming out. It's a second yellow for Tolisso. Oh, this is big. It's a red card for the Lyon captain. It was quite innocuous. He's running after Euro. VAR can't help him out here because it's a second yellow. I think he's unlucky here. He's running. I don't think he intends to trip Euro. A tangle of feet. A second yellow for Corentin Tolisso. This could be a nail in the coffin for Lyon tonight. They will finish the game with 10 men. We get to see replays of it again. I don't see the foul, Paul.
This is a massive moment in the game. This is a massive moment in the game. He's so unlucky, Tolisso. Lenny Yoro's got the wrong side of him. He's got the better of him. It's not a foul. Lenny Yoro's running, and as he's running, his back heel catches the knee of Tolisso, which inadvertently trips him up, and he goes to ground. The referee sees it as a trip. It's an accidental coming together. It's not a foul. He's very, very unlucky, the Lyon player. But as we see now, the goalkeeper's been very, very clever here. Lucas Perry, the Lyon goalkeeper. He's given his manager an opportunity now to restructure very quickly. All right, as we know, the goalkeeper's the only one who can't go off the field. So he's gone down. I'm not saying he's feigning injury, but he's given the manager an opportunity while the physio and doctors come on to reorganise the 10 men that he's got on the field.
So delay here. Let's go back to Frankfurt. Frankfurt against Tottenham. John Akers.
Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1. 2.5 minutes of normal time remaining. Spurs leading 2-1 on aggregate. Frankfurt should be level. They've just had another free header from a corner. Ekiteke with a header wide of the target. Christensen could have had a hat-trick. Right-footed, he just tamely passed it to Vicario, and Johnson has gone off. Danso is on to try and shore things up for Spurs. The high line, it's not there. They're sitting deep, holding on. 2 minutes to go. Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1.
Thanks very much, John. Here at Old Trafford, Perry's getting back to his feet. We've moved into stoppages. 5 minutes signal to be added on. There'll be more than that by the time we get there. 4-4 on aggregate on a dramatic night at Old Trafford. And look, first and foremost, this red card is very good news for Manchester United. Of course it is. They will play against 10. But, you know, in terms of accuracy, you know, to be very fair with this, we've looked at the replay. Tolisso is just running. He doesn't alter his stride. He doesn't stretch out a leg to try and trip the opponent. It's a very harsh red card. Bruno Fernandes is going to take the free kick from that incident. Here it comes. Tries to beat the keeper at the near post. Clever idea. Perry was waiting for the cross. He was ready to come, and Bruno Fernandes from out wide tried to play it in low to the front post, and he very nearly succeeded. Corner.
That's intentional by the Manchester United captain. Spot the goalkeeper looking to come for the cross, whipped it in, challenged him at his near post, but he's good to get down there. Perry, good save.
Corner to Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes ready to take. Manchester United would love to win this in regulation time and avoid the stress of extra time. Here comes the corner in. Oh, Yaro was ready to head it. It was flicked away from him. Garnacho back into the centre. Lacazette is back there. Tries to clear away, and Thiago Almada should be able to do so now. Gets the ball under his control. Manages to flick it infield to Niakate. Good work from him. And Lyon can try and come forward, but it's so much more difficult for them now. They're down to 10 men. They've lost their captain. It was interesting, you spotted it, Paul, when the Lyon players went into a huddle when Perry was down, giving them the little breather there, and it was Lacazette who was doing all the talking in there.
He was the leader on the pitch. I mean, normally in those occasions we see the manager call the players over to the touchline, but it was Lacazette who was organising everybody, restructuring everybody in a huddle, almost like a timeout. Goalkeeper was clever though. He went to ground knowing that he didn't have to go off. He bought his team the time, because the changes that he's made, they've got a lot of attacking players on the pitch of Lyon. After the substitutions that they made, chasing the game, got themselves back into it. And Tolisso, he was one of the only defensive-minded midfielders on the pitch. They've got a lot of attacking players on there now.
Tolisso's been centre stage tonight. He scored the first goal of this comeback to get things level, and now he has been dismissed. Back to Frankfurt against Spurs, John Akers.
Spurs 1, 2-1 on aggregate. 5 minutes of added time. Spurs have had a little bit of possession in the last few minutes. Kulusevski taking it to the corner. As Spurs players down on the deck, and Frankfurt are attacking. They're throwing everything at Spurs here. Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1, 2-1 on aggregate.
Manchester United come on the attack, and Kobe Mainoo is fouled. Free kick to Manchester United. 15 yards outside the penalty area they attack. What an exciting, dramatic evening this is proving to be in the Europa League. Tottenham almost there into the semis. Lazio, who were 2-0 down tonight at the start of events, have come back now. 2-0 in the evening, 2-2 on aggregate. They're going to be heading to extra time as well as it stands. And here at Old Trafford, it was 2-2 at the start of the evening. It's 2-2 on the night here, so 4-4, and perhaps heading for extra time as well as Sir Alex Ferguson looks on. All the drama he's seen here over the decades. Can Manchester United pull a winner out of the bag here? Bruno Fernandes lofts it in. Harry Maguire at the back post, can't get it on target. He wants a corner. The referee says goal kick. Lyon, who are dominating, but that red card for Corentin Tolisso has very much changed the flow of things now. All over in Bilbao. Athletic Bilbao against Rangers. Gavin Wallace.
2-0 to Athletic Club. Rangers go out, a penalty from Ohio Sunset, and Nico Williams on the end of a lovely cross deep into the second half. Athletic Club 2, Rangers 0.
Rangers out of Europe, so the last Scottish team of the competition leave the Europa League. Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United still involved. As a clearance from Perry up over the halfway line. Casemiro wins the header for Manchester United. Niakate tries to flick it away. Lacazette with a great touch to Cherki. Here come the 10 men of Lyon. Cherki attacking down the left-hand side is stopped by Harry Maguire. The ball goes out for a throw into Lyon. Attacking position for them down the left-hand side. But Harry Maguire was making extra sure that Cherki would not proceed there.
It's a concentration job for the Manchester United back three. Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Lenny Yoro. We've got to be switched on. Don't make a mistake at this stage in the game. Lyon will sit deep. They'll look to hit on the counter-attack, and it's about staying concentrated.
In the Conference League, Fiorentina, Betis, Chelsea are all through. Looks like Rapid Vienna and Djurgården could be going to extra time. They're 2-2 on aggregate. Winner of that one plays Chelsea in the semi-final. Throw in for Lyon into the penalty area. Bruno Fernandes is going to come away with possession here. Takes his time, tries to play it in front of Mason Mount. That's a good idea and a very important interception by Tagliafico. And out it goes in front of Ruben Amorim's dugout for a throw in. And Amorim just says to Bruno Fernandes, take your time. But time is up anyway. Time of regulation is up. We have reached the end of stoppages at the end of 90 minutes. It is 4-4 on aggregate, and Manchester United are going to play an extra half hour tonight, Paul Robinson, against the 10 men of Lyon. That red card for Tolisso could be still the big defining factor here.
A game full of subplots, incident, action-packed areas, key moments. Manchester United was so dominant in the first half. You just really felt that they should push on, get that third goal. The opportunity for Garnacho just after the break, you can't help but think that would have done it, that would have put the game to bed. Lyon grew in confidence, they got back in the game, and when that goal went in, you could almost feel that the next one was coming from them. They were absolutely excellent the way they come back in. The sending off, that's going to play a part in the game, a huge part in the game.
Well, Kelly, at half-time, Manchester United were absolutely cruising, but they don't make things easy for themselves, do they? And what a second half that was from Lyon. They score two, they get a red card, and we go to extra time.
What might make it a little easier for them is the fact that Lyon are down to 10 players now in that game, but we will find out very shortly with Conor McNamara and Paul Robinson. Meanwhile, it should be coming up to full time in the game between Eintracht Frankfurt and Tottenham, but there's been a little bit of a delay down to injury. John Akers.
Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1. This is agonising for Spurs fans. 30 seconds of the 5 added remaining, but Romero has been down for, I would say, about 90 seconds following a corner. Spurs players look out on their feet, bodies scattered everywhere. They have given everything in pouring rain, in a vociferous atmosphere. They really have been good, but when there's some argy-bargy going on at the moment as well, some pushing and shoving, and a yellow card shown to an Eintracht Frankfurt player here as well. So we're going to have a nervous last 90 seconds, I think, Kelly, of added time once Romero gets treatment. Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1, Spurs leading 2-1 on aggregate.
Thank you, John. We'll be back to you when and if that one finishes. Meanwhile, it is all over, and it's all over for Rangers. Gavin Wallace.
Yeah, those 2,800 Rangers fans can go home, be proud of their team. They gave what they could tonight. They tried their best, but they just fell short of that quality. Athletic Club 2, Rangers 0. It finishes the same score on aggregate. The penalty on 45 plus 3. Ohio Sunset, bottom left, he sent Liam Kelly the wrong way just after John Suter got himself into all sorts of bother with one of the forwards. And then on 80 minutes, Nico Williams, Kelly, it was a lovely ball in towards the back post area from DeMarcos, and from close range he was never ever going to miss from there. Rangers had some good chances, but I think one of the big talking points tonight is Dessers should have had a penalty around about the quarter of the hour mark. Vivian literally ripped the jersey off him. It ripped a hole in the front of the striker's jersey. The referee said nothing doing. If he got a penalty there and scored, it would have totally changed the game. Rangers out, Athletic Club 2, Rangers 0.
Thank you very much for that, Gavin. Meanwhile, it's all over. Chelsea as well in the Europa Conference League. Their game against Legia Warsaw. The full-time whistle has gone. Sohail Sahi.
Yeah, it ended 2-1 to Legia Warsaw, Kelly. So Chelsea, they lost this second leg, but they're through to the semi-finals. They found themselves behind Thomas Pekar from the penalty spot. Mark Cucurella hauled Chelsea level, and then early in the second half, Legia, they retook the lead and won, which they deserved. Chelsea, very fortunate it did not get any worse. Full time then, Chelsea 1, Legia Warsaw 2, but Chelsea through 4-2 on aggregate.
full-time in League 2 as well, in the match between Bradford and Notts County. Nick Hatton.
Yes, Bradford City 1, Notts County 1, the final score. Both goals coming in the second half. The first for Bradford City after 52 minutes. Kieran Kelly with a header from a free kick wide on the right-hand side. The equaliser came 16 minutes later. An absolute worldie from a 37-year-old David McGoldrick, whipping it into the top corner from 25 yards out. That point leaves Bradford City 2 points off top spot, but only 2 clear of fourth as they look to hold on to those automatic promotion places. Games in hand, of course, for sides tomorrow. Notts County stay 6th. They're within 3 points of the top 3 ahead of what could be a pivotal Easter weekend. Bradford City 1, Notts County 1.
The Frankfurt goalkeeper is in Tottenham's penalty box. We'll keep you up to date with what's happening there. We'll be back very shortly. Manchester United set to go to extra time in their game against Lyon in the Europa League this evening. But the full-time whistle has gone in Frankfurt. John Akers, late drama, John.
And Spurs are through a miserable season, and they are still alive in Europe. Their first semi-final since 2019. The players jumping on each other's backs. Wild scenes of celebration in Frankfurt. Dominic Solanke, his first goal in 12 from the penalty spot after Maddison was flattened. And Spurs' season is still alive, and so is Ange Postecoglou. A famous European night for Spurs. Frankfurt 0, Spurs 1. They win it 2-1 on aggregate and will face Bilbao in the Europa League semi-finals.
Manchester United's season still very much alive as well, but maybe not quite so lively as it was when they were 2-0 up against Lyon. It's 2-2. Lyon down to 10 men. Paul Robinson and Conor McNamara are at Old Trafford for extra time.
Back underway, Manchester United back attacking the Stretford end. And you know, Paul, I just feel the double-edged sword of this. Yes, it is advantageous for Manchester United to be playing against 10 men here. But if this goes badly, if Manchester United lose over the next half hour, it's going to make it feel all the worse for Ruben Amorim that they couldn't get the job done against 10.
Come on, Connor, positivity. Come on, positivity. Yes, 10 men, they are going to sit in. Listen, Lyon are going to play for penalties. Although the way that they're lining up at the moment, with Fofana really high on the left-hand side, Cherki on this right-hand side, Lacazette's dropping in deep. What they're doing is they're making the pitch big and they're giving themselves an opportunity of a counter-attack. They're almost playing with 5 at the back, 1 holding midfielder, and the 3 attacking players are playing extremely high, stretching the pitch. But that's going to leave so many holes and space for Manchester United in the middle of the pitch. From a Manchester United point of view, they've got to get it done in extra time. They've got that one-man advantage. The last thing they want now is to take it to penalties. Opportunity for penalties for Lyon. It's snap your hands off.
4-4 on aggregate. Appreciate many of our listeners will be tuning in at various stages here. We're live on BBC Radio 5 Live, on BBC Sounds via the live text commentary pages on the BBC Sport website and on BBC Radio Manchester as well. So just a quick little reminder of what's happened here. 2-2 from the first leg. Manchester United started brilliantly tonight. Ugarte gave them the lead after 10 minutes. Dallo was to make it 2-0 before half-time. But then Lyon really arrived in the second half. They scored 2 goals in 7 minutes to get this to 2-2. Then their captain, one of the goal scorers, Corentin Tolisso, was sent off. So Manchester United are playing against 10 in extra time as Garnacho tries to go into the penalty area, and he shows too much of it to Tanner Tessman, and Tessman's able to come away with possession. That is a great name. I mean, he could only be an American international with the name Tanner Tessman as he plays the ball ahead of Cherki down the right hand side. Oh, Maguire's taken him down. Free kick. It's going to be a yellow card for Harry Maguire. Now he's got to be really careful, and the one thing Ruben Amorim's team do not want is to go down to 10 themselves. Cherki fouled by Maguire, yellow card. It's hard to make a case against that, Paul.
It's what Manchester United have got to be wary against, giving needless set plays away, set pieces in an area where Lyon can put it into the box. Harry Maguire that time. Cherki's been the best player on the pitch from a Lyon point of view. Gets himself in an area one-on-one. He exposes Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire goes to ground, takes him down. It's a clear free kick, but he was going nowhere, Cherki. He's in acres of space. He's got absolutely no support whatsoever. He's gone down and he's conceded a free kick, Harry Maguire, in an extremely dangerous area where Lyon can put it into the box.
Now, this is not what Manchester United want to do. When you're playing against 10 men, this is an attacking set piece. Kind of doesn't matter if it's 10 or 11 in this scenario. Lyon will take as many of these as they are given. As Cherki trying to get up. Now, we're going to see a lot of this because they're playing with 10, Paul. He will take his time getting back up to his feet. They're going to try and run the clock down as much as they can. Obviously, they'd love to nick a goal in extra time, but they're not going to be doing it in any sort of a rush.
No, they're going to try and manage their way through to penalties. However they get through this next half an hour, they're going to want to try and get through this next half hour and get to penalties. and because that was a head injury with Cherki there, it was a collision with Maguire as he went to ground. The referee allowed him as much time as he wanted, and he's still on the field.
So Thiago Almeida's going to take the free kick. This is 10 yards from the byline. Right hand side as Lyon come forward. Hush descends over Old Trafford. 4-4 on aggregate. Here comes Thiago Almeida's delivery. Cross on the right hand side. Brave header. Gets it out of the penalty area. This is Fofana though, who collects it and tries to weave onto his left boot. Wants to send in a cross. Well dealt with by Mason Mount. And the ball is cleared away. And we have played already 4 minutes here in extra time. It was Casemiro who bravely headed that away. And he has done well tonight so far.
They were fighting over each other in red shirts to try and clear it. The organisation, Maguire, Fernandes, Casemiro, there was voices in there was leadership in there. They were not marking man for man, they were marking zonally, and you could see there's 3 or 4 Manchester United players desperately going to try and win that header, to try and get the ball out their own box.
The 10 men of Lyon have possession. The goalkeeper Perry rolls it out to Maitland-Niles, once of Arsenal on the right hand side. Under pressure from Bruno Fernandes, he's got to turn back at himself now. Support available from Clinton Mata back inside his own penalty area, and he'll roll it back to the Brazilian goalkeeper Perry once again. Over to the left hand side to Moussa Niakate, formerly of Nottingham Forest. His clearance almost cut out by Lenny Euro, but not quite, and Lacazette is able to pick it up from Lyon, and he gives it to the danger man Cherki, running at Dorgu, twisting inside of Patrick Dorgu, now coming across the edge of the D. Thiago Almeida shoots, it's fallen to Lacazette. I think he's offside, and it doesn't matter anyway because the shot goes wide. That wouldn't have counted for Alexander Lacazette. He was offside.
But they've started this first period of extra time the better side, Lyon. Really interesting stat there, just flashed up in the corner of the TV. Since the first period of extra time, Lyon have dominated possession. 59% possession already for the away side.
And that's with 10 men.
With 10 men is surprising. Lacazette there was in a really dangerous position. He was a good yard offside, but again it's Cherki coming in off that right hand side. He causes all kinds of problems.
History is written by the winners. If Manchester United go through some of the wobbly moments tonight, all the possession Lyon have, that will all be lost in the mists and the sands of time. But if this doesn't go well for Ruben Amorim, you know, stats like that will haunt him in press conferences and interviews afterwards, how with 11 men against 10 that Manchester United have seen less of the ball. Here's Dalot, oh, he's given it away on the far side. Thiago Almeida to Fofana. In some ways the French team will feel they've nothing to lose now. Fofana tries to sprint past Casemiro, who does really well to stop him, and here come Manchester United now. Dorgu leaving it for Bruno Fernandes, tries to turn away from Tessman, gives it to Dorgu and now on to Garnacho, wide on the left hand side, back in field again to Bruno Fernandes. Very motionless Stret Fernandes, waiting to see what happens here. Garnacho with good acceleration gets to the ball ahead of Tassoman there. This is Dorgu, back to Garnacho again. Good solid challenge inside the penalty area. There was no margin for error there, but Thiago Almeida made a very good challenge, and the 10 men of Lyon get it back. Back to the goalkeeper Perry, and quite sensibly he says, right, enough of this, and he booms and blasts it long down into the Manchester United end of the field. 7 minutes now played of extra time.
They've got to use the space more intelligently, Manchester United. Said that Lyon are stretching the pitch with the 2 forward players being very wide, Lacazette dropping in. There's a lot of space for Luke Shaw to drop into, for Bruno Fernandes, for Casemiro. Looking down at the bench now, Amorim's about to make some substitutions in the first period of this extra time, looking like he's going to want to try and go and win it, and the 2 players that he's going to bring on can exploit those spaces.
Here's Kobe Manu in the penalty area, turns, tries to cross, it's too high for Mason Mount, and Tagliafico is able to guide it outside the penalty area. Fofana's best efforts to keep it in play don't work, and the ball goes out for a throw into Manchester United. So Christian Eriksen is coming on, and Harry Amas as well. Amas, who made his first Premier League start on Sunday against Newcastle, only turned 18 in March. He's a young defender. He's about to be thrown into this cauldron of an atmosphere at Old Trafford, where the 10 men of Lyon are doing their best to hang on, but they've now got to defend a corner to Manchester United, and Ruben Amorim is going to wait. He's not going to make the changes until after the set piece. 4-4 on aggregate it remains.
And you do wonder what's going through Ruben Amorim's head as well regarding penalty takers, who he takes off the field, what he's going to take recognised penalty takers or players that would take the hand up and take a penalty should we get that far.
Bruno Fernandes prepares to take the corner kick. Here it comes, right-footed, high, lofted, hanging in the air. Fofana touches it down and Lacazette should be able to clear away. Thiago Almada, midway inside his own half, runs into Mason Mount. Does very well to hold on to possession, but then he's going to lose out to Bruno Fernandes. Manchester United get it back. Casemiro, 15 yards outside the penalty area, tries to cut it back for Bruno Fernandes. Great recovery. Thiago Almada, who lost the ball there, was not feeling sorry for himself. He sprinted back and he won it back for his team, and that's what you've got to do when you've only got 10 on the pitch. Maitland-Niles to Cherki, looked like he might have been offside. Play on for now, gives it into Fofana, bit of space on the far side. This is Fofana for Lyon, goes around Casemiro but can't send a shotter across. He's managed to hold on to the ball at the byline. Yoro will stretch out and win the ball back. That was curious from Fofana. He just seemed to hesitate and the chance expires and the flag belatedly goes up, and we said earlier in that move that it looked like Cherki was offside, and they have come back for that decision. Well, around us as the double change is made, Paul, all the written journalists, the online journalists, they're furiously tapping away on their laptops. There's two stories that could be told here tonight. It could be Manchester United gloriously advanced to the semi-finals of the Europa League, or it could be the lowest of low ebbs for Ruben Amorim, and it's still in the balance in the 100th minute of the game here.
The most popular button here in the press box tonight: delete, erase and rewrite. The amount of times that they've rewritten their headlines, because this game's had so many subplots. Manchester United were home and hosed at half-time. The sending off, the 2 goals for Lyon, the extra time. There's been so many opportunities for Manchester United to put this game to bed. So many headlines have been written and rewritten already tonight.
Garnacho's got off, Dorgu has got off, so Amas on at left wing back. Christian Eriksen has come into the midfield. Lacazette beaten in the chase there by Harry Maguire as the ball goes out for a Lyon throw inside their own half. 100 minutes on the clock, 2-2 on the night, 4-4 on aggregate. This has been a blockbuster of a quarter-final, and we still don't know who's going through to the semis to play Bilbao.
It's quite enough in the extra time period though, hasn't it? Obviously Lyon are going to try and manage their way through, and you know, there's an argument about extra time, getting rid of extra time. It's not often you do get a good quality game in extra time. Players are tired, players are leggy, and there's always one team that's trying to hold on to what they've got, and at the moment that's Lyon.
But this is where the red card could be costly. I mean, if there was no extra time, if it was straight to penalties, well then Toliso's red wouldn't have mattered. This is an opportunity for Manchester United.
It's a massive opportunity for Manchester United, and if it does go to penalty, it's an opportunity missed.
We've played 10 minutes now of extra time. Against 10 men, Perry hasn't had a save to make. It's got to trouble Ruben Amorim as Kobbie Mainoo, who's playing as the central attacker for Manchester United, stretches, can't control the ball, drilled at him to be fair, and the ball goes out for a throw-in to Lyon and their right full-back Ainsley Maitland-Niles. 2-2 on the evening. Tessman clears it away. Lenny Yoro controls on his own inside the centre circle. Gives it short to Christian Eriksen. Can the Dane roll back the years and provide something inspirational for his team tonight? This is Mason Mount, level with the edge of the penalty area that Manchester United attack on the left-hand side. Attacking the Stretford end. Eriksen across to Yoro. The extra man feels a bit more evident now. There's more time and space on the ball for these Manchester United players as the fatigue inevitably becomes a bit more pertinent for the team from Lyon. As Dalot crosses into the penalty area, Bruno Fernandes jumps over it. Amas tries to arrive, very well dealt with by Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He almost had to pause for a second to allow the ball past his body, but he knew what he was doing and he judged it just right.
He was the coolest person inside Old Trafford there, Maitland-Niles. Very, very precarious position, ball rolling across the 6-yard box. He knew that Amas was behind him, he just had to let the ball roll through his legs, dealt with it extremely well.
3 minutes to go to half-time in extra time. Still all square in this Europa League quarter-final. Manchester United's progression in the balance. Rangers are out tonight. Tottenham Hotspur are through. Chelsea are through in the Conference League as Amas sends in a cross with too much elevation on it. It goes over everyone in the penalty area, but Casemiro has kept it alive on the far side. And now Lenny Yoro into the box ahead of Dalot, who's already on the score sheet tonight. Loses his footing in the penalty area. He was already on the way down by the time Niakate collided with him. And that is going to be a goal kick to Lyon, and they will take their time over this. 2.5 minutes until half-time in extra time. 4-4 on aggregate on 5 Live.
Yeah, they're managing their way through this extra time at the moment, Lyon. Taking a long time to go and retrieve the ball to take this goal kick. But Manchester United, they haven't really dominated possession in this first period. But you talked about those spaces in the middle of the pitch. You're looking for the likes of Eriksen, Mason Mount, Casemiro, especially Bruno Fernandes, to get in those spaces, make things happen. but it's been flat for Manchester United ever since Kobbie Mainoo's come on and he's playing as that number 9. They've had no opportunities on goal, even with 10 men on the pitch.
This could have been more straightforward for Manchester United this evening. They were 2-0 up at half-time in the regular 90 minutes. Lyon, who've come back 2-2 on the evening, now playing with 10 men though, as Harry Maguire comfortably beats Lacazette in the air to a header. The referee got in the way of Mason Mount there. That's why you hear the disgruntlement from the Manchester United fans. Mount was about to get the ball, the referee stepped into his path and Lyon got possession instead. Mind you, they are still inside their own half. As Cherki here gives it back to Mata. The 10 men of Lyon are playing well. I mean, if you just came in, you wouldn't instantly know that it was 10 against 11. Here comes Niakate up to the halfway line on the left-hand side. Tagliafico with a great touch to Fofana, and he's running now with Harry Maguire. The one defender in his way, goes down to the edge of the area. Referee says play on. Cherki shoots and scores! And the 10 men of Lyon have taken the lead for the first time in this tie on the night at Old Trafford. In extra time, Rayan Cherki gets Lyon's third goal of the evening. Their 5th goal of this quarter-final on aggregate, and Ruben Amorim's team, who had a 2-goal lead, who are playing against 10 men, have somehow concocted to be losing this game and on their way out of the Europa League tonight as it stands.
Old Trafford is stunned, absolutely stunned. The substitutes are on the pitch, the physios are on the pitch, the whole bench is on the pitch. What a celebration taking place to our right from the Lyon supporters. Absolute smash and grab. A really good 1-2 down the left-hand side. Tagliafico into Fofana, and Fofana gets the beating of Harry Maguire and he plays it inside to Cherki. Cherki's still got a fair bit to do, but he's been the best player in a white shirt tonight by a long way. He's such a quality player. Manchester United unpicked, and it comes into Cherki, gets it onto his left foot, fires it hard and low into the bottom left-hand corner of Onana's goal. Goalkeeper rooted to the spot, nothing he can do. It's a wonderful finish from 17 yards out, and the visitors have stunned Manchester.
Well, Lyon will be beyond delighted with this, but the story tonight at Old Trafford, as things stand, is that Ruben Amorim's under-pressure team are on their way out of their last gasp for some glory this season. The night to save the campaign, is it slipping through their fingers? Manchester United are still playing 10. They can still come back. They've got all of the second half of extra time to go as Eriksson plays it long into the penalty area. Dalot does really well to control that, but he's up with the corner flag now and he can't keep the ball in play. I mean, this is crazy, Paul. Against 10 men, Manchester United have conceded, and they have 1-0 down in this extra time period.
Really simply, Manchester United had 90 minutes to save their season. They've now got 15 minutes to save their season. Quite literally, save their season.
You mentioned earlier in the game, even with the 2-goal lead, the brittle confidence of Ruben Amorim's team. They've seen so many events and games turn sour this campaign, and this could be one of the worst. There is still the chance of redemption, of course. There's 1 minute added on for stoppages at the end of the first half. We've already played a minute and a half. Everything frantic, frenetic, chaotic, on a night when the Lyon fans have been thoroughly entertained. Their team started badly tonight, but wow, how they have recovered. 3-2 to Lyon on the evening, having been 2-0 down, and all of this playing with 10 men.
Incredible performance by the away team, going 2-0 down with 10 men now, getting herself not only back into the game, but going ahead with 15 minutes to play for Manchester United, approaching the end of the first period of extra time.
There is the whistle for half-time and extra time. There is a quarter of an hour to go of this Europa League quarter-final. And boos from some Manchester United fans. They did not like that performance. First 45 minutes tonight, Manchester United did well. Ever since then, it's been the same old errors that have crept in. And the team talks will happen on the pitch in front of us now. And the drama of knockout European football. And that noise you can hear in the background at Old Trafford, that is the Lyon supporters going crazy in the background. Let's bring in René Mullenstein, who's been watching events on television in the studio. René, where has this gone wrong for Ruben Amorim tonight? He continues to find new ways for things to go wrong.
That's some way of describing it, Conor. But I think go back to what Robbo said. You know, the chances that United had early in the second half with Garnacho, and I think he should have rolled. He should have rolled players in, and he didn't. He went for his own glory, and that cost him. Credit to Lyon, they stuck to it. They got to believe. But to be fairly honest, you know, after the 10 men of Lyon, you would think you got a spare man on the pitch. That should be, you know, a straightforward situation for United to then manage the game, making sure they constantly find that spare man, make it difficult for Lyon, don't give him the ball. But it was the opposite. And it's really, they have to give something again for the fans to get behind them. Because, again, they have scored some late goals, United, in other games. And then the momentum can turn. But at this moment in time, it's not looking very likely.
Thanks, Rennie. I mean, I just want to paint the picture here. For me, Paul Robinson, two very contrasting coaching styles there. Both teams close to each other in huddles, but how the coaches went about that little team talk was very different. Ruben Amorim had this little magnetic board, little discs. He was all about showing tactics. It's about an A4 size sheet, and he was down on the ground with it. They were all straining to see what he had on the ground. Whereas Fonseca was all about passion and talking, and he was communicating with them with words. Contrasting styles. I wonder which will be more effective.
I like the latter. I must admit, given this situation, you just have to look to our right, to those Lyon fans, and that's exactly what the manager was like. Pride, passion. There's going to be no real structure to the game in this second half of extra time. It's going to all be about attitude, application, putting your body on the line, defending with everything you've got, and when you get the opportunity, clear it as far up the field as you can. Manchester United have got a massive 15 minutes.
Here we go then. It's proving to be a later night than we expected. Tony Livesey to come on 5 Live, but we can't leave this. 4-5 on aggregate in favour of Lyon, who are going to make a change here in the second half of extra time. Manchester United, who at one stage this evening appeared to have this done and dusted. They were 2 goals ahead. Later on, they were playing against 10 men, which they continue to do. But Ruben Amorim's team have struggled to hold an advantage. They're defending the Stretford end now as Dalot comes forward, launches it into the penalty area. Harry Maguire, who has been used as an attacker in moments of desperation this season, has started this extra time period playing as a centre forward. Has a foul on Cherki there. I don't know if you know it was a foul, but Cherki down injured, and the referee briefly holding up play. And now the change is going to happen, and all of this is frustrating a Manchester United team who are trying to regain a foothold in the game, but stop, start. They are being antagonised by Lyon here, who can't believe their good fortune to be 5-4 up on aggregate.
Interesting change from Lyon, from Paulo Fonseca, the manager, bringing on a defender, and Cherki, the potential match winner, going off. Been by far the best player for Lyon tonight, taking the best attacking player off and bringing on a holding defensive midfielder, maybe even a centre half. Clear to see that they're going to hold on to what they've got, but if it does go to penalty, I'd like Cherki on the pitch.
Cherki leaves, and he wanted to do a slow walk. He wanted to set a new world record for the slowest walk across Old Trafford to leave the pitch, and the referee said sorry about that, but you're going to have to leave at the nearest exit point. So now he's walking around the perimeter of the pitch as Abner Vinicius, the Brazilian defender, has come on. Lyon have to defend now. They've got their noses in front, but 10 men against 11. They've done so well for this, they can't expect to score again. Manchester United must score again. 5-4 on aggregate to Lyon. Ball played in by Dalot, but Perry, the goalkeeper, comes and claims it, and he falls on the ball, and he'll take his time, and Maitland-Niles is now holding his head. And I think this is how the next 15 minutes are going to go, Paul. They're not going to be free-flowing.
There's no disguise to what Manchester United are doing. They've got Harry Maguire as a makeshift centre forward. They've got Kobbie Mainoo as a centre forward. They're going to go long, they're going to go direct, but we've seen already Lyon players going down, holding the head, holding the hamstrings, calf substitutions. Listen at the noise in Old Trafford now. It's pure frustration. Lyon game management is the order of the day.
You know, it's the mad chaos. Ruben Amorim, who sticks originally to his formations. Fofana tries to break into the penalty. Oh, that's a penalty! Fofana's taken down by Lenny Euro. It's a penalty to Lyon, and that could be that. Yellow card for Euro. Penalty for Lyon. A chance to go 6-4 up, and the 10 men are doing brilliantly in extra time here. But Manchester United continue to shoot themselves in the foot. Euro is shown the yellow card. The penalty has been awarded. Was it Luke Shaw who actually took down Fofana? What an impact Fofana's had since coming on, by the way.
He's been excellent, Fofana, since he comes on. And it's a combination of Lenny Yoro and Luke Shaw. Lyon have been absolutely excellent. A 1-2 there on the break. Fofana again. Once again, it's him with Lacazette. Get in behind Manchester United. Lenny Yoro, Luke Shaw, crossover, and it's a penalty. The referee's right on the spot. Once again, the referee's been excellent. You can't criticise him tonight. Manchester United have been the masters of their own downfall once again, and now Lyon have a chance before penalties, with a penalty, to win the game.
Manchester United 2, Lyon 3 on the evening. Lyon playing with 10 men, leading 5-4 in aggregate. Could Andre Onana, after all he's been through, could he somehow emerge as the hero here? He's up against Alexander Lacazette, the former Arsenal striker. The captain's armband on his left arm after Toliso's dismissal. This to send Lyon surely to the semi-finals. He scores! He sends Onana the wrong way. The bench runs onto the pitch in celebration. Alexander Lacazette scores to give Lyon a 4-2 advantage on the night and to lead 6-4 in aggregate. Quite astonishing.
A famous night for Lyon in Manchester, and a famous night for Manchester United for all the wrong reasons. Once again they've lost the lead. They were 2-0 up, absolutely cruising. 2-0 up to lose this game 4-2 to the 10 men of Lyon. The scenes away to our right hand side, down below us on the bench, the away team, the supporters are going absolutely crazy. Manchester United, the team, the body language, they look so despondent, and Old Trafford is emptying quickly.
They're a raggle band now, Manchester United. They're all over the place. Harry Maguire up top, Yoro the only defender. So much for Ruben Amorim sticking doggedly to his tactics. He can't do that now. He's got to go into this all-out attack mode, but they need to just to get penalties now, Manchester United. And Lyon, who have played this like a classic violin, they have hit every note sweet and true as Maguire and Niakate collide in the penalty area, and they're all appealing that the other was at fault. But this is going to sting. This is really going to sting Ruben Amorim. His team were 2-0 up tonight. They're 4-2 down, and they're on their way out of Europe. As Luke Shaw has possession, 15 yards outside the penalty area, left-hand side, launches it in, high and hopeful, looking for Maguire. Casemiro gets in his way. Here's Casemiro again, tries to juggle it. He goes down. Referee says no penalty. Old Trafford bays and screams for a penalty kick, but the Swiss referee says no.
Looked like a penalty to me. At first glance, it looks like a penalty. Gets it well at the end, at the far post, Casemiro. He ends up getting on the end of his own header. Just getting an opportunity now to see the replay. Bundles his way through, collides with Tagliafico. The referee and his VAR and his assistants are checking it.
Check is over according to my screen. Does he handle it? Because if he handled it, it wouldn't matter if he was fouled. And
by the way,
bobbling up on his nose.
He handled it and he wasn't touched either.
Yeah.
There was never a penalty.
So Casemiro, desperate times, desperate measures, trying to win a penalty for his team, but well, the Swiss referee, to his credit, he's got big calls right tonight from what we can see there. They're still looking at replays here. And there's an angle that shows Almada with maybe a connection on Casemiro. No, and I just want to confirm, so it did flash up early that the check was complete, no penalty. That's now changed. Checking for potential penalty, a potential foul in the box in the 112th minute at Old Trafford on a manic night where Manchester United were 2-0 up, where they entered extra time playing against 10 men. But Lyon, with the 10, have scored twice in extra time, and the referee's been asked to come across and have a look at this for himself, and it could well be the decision is reversed, and that Manchester United do get a penalty, and maybe, just maybe, Paul Robinson, this crazy night is not over yet.
Well, on that second angle and on the still that we just saw, we all know what still pictures can do. The still looked like there may have been a slight connection. Listen, there wasn't a lot of a connection on Casemiro, but it was him getting onto the end of his own header. Potentially was a handball in the build-up to it, maybe not. But the connection, if there was any, it's the head-on angle that we're looking down the pitch. And funnily enough, the referees run over to the screen, and that's the still that they're showing him straight away. He's going to give this.
Yeah, so let's just assume for a moment he gives it and they score. It'll be 4-3 on the night, 6-5 on aggregate, 8 minutes remaining at this stage. Penalty is confirmed as we thought it would be. So, 8 minutes against 10 men. They'll still need another one after this. First and foremost, though, Bruno Fernandes, who has scored more penalties for Manchester United than any player in the club's history. Can he do it again?
What score is it, Connor?
6-4 aggregate, 4-2 on the night in favour of Lyon.
What a game.
This to get the deficit down to 1. Bruno Fernandes can't waste any time here. Up against the Brazilian goalkeeper Lucas Perry. Bruno Fernandes, 34 of the 38 penalties he's taken for Manchester United in the past, he has scored. Here he comes, right-footed, scores this one! It ain't over yet. Manchester United 3, Lyon playing with 10 men, 4. 6-5 on aggregate to the French team. And listen to the Old Trafford roar!
All of a sudden people are coming the other way. They're coming back through the exits. They've gone too far. Don't go out the gates. Come back. Brilliant penalty by Bruno Fernandes. Didn't expect anything else from him. Epitome of coolness. Steps up, takes his time, drives it hard and low into the goalkeeper's bottom left-hand corner. He's that confident. As soon as he kicks it, he runs to go and get the ball and put it back on the penalty spot. All of a sudden, Old Trafford believes again.
Excellent penalty. Perry chose the right way, but when it's tucked to bed like that, it ain't going to be stopped. We've just seen on our monitors a few young Manchester United fans losing their lives in celebration there. Hey, it's Easter holidays. There's no school tomorrow. A goal to bring this quarter-final to penalties. Manchester United's season continues to dangle by that thread. Lyon still have the advantage, but they've only got 10 men on the field. Penalties at both ends in this extra time period. Lacazette scoring for Lyon, Bruno Fernandes scoring for Manchester United. As a foul on Mason Mount there, and United can't take the free kick quickly enough. 4-3 Lyon lead, playing with 10 men. 6-5 on aggregate. Luke Shaw comes forward for Manchester United, left-hand side of the pitch, midway into Lyon territory. Amas back to Lenny Yoro, all his outfield teammates ahead of him. Gives it to Bruno Fernandes, up to the feet of Mount. Harry Maguire wants another penalty. They scream for it. The referee says no. Maguire leaning into Diakate. The goalkeeper was able to come out and grab it. Perry now says he's injured again. Harry Maguire continues the remonstrations, the boos from the Old Trafford crowd, hoping they might force another pitchside review here. This has gone beyond chaotic now into a whole other stratosphere.
The two big centre-halves, the two great big juggernauts going side by side, running back towards the Lyon goal. Maguire and Niakate trying to outstrength each other. Niakate ends up falling down and smashing into his own goalkeeper. I don't think the goalkeeper's playing for time here. Niakate, he's just given him a double foot to the chest. Harry Maguire that time on the turn tries to get round Niakate. Niakate's having none of it. The pair of them, two huge size of men, clattering to the goalkeeper. This ain't finished. This still ain't finished.
Harry Maguire holding up his shirt, waving at the referee, saying the defender was pulling his shirt to the penalty area. 117th minute, 7 goals tonight, 11 goals over the 2 legs, and Lyon still not sure of progression. Ruben Amorim bites a fingernail. A night in which United led 2-0 earlier on this evening. A night in which Lyon are finishing with 10 men. A night in which Tottenham are already into the semis, having beaten Eintracht Frankfurt in the other quarter-final. Rangers out, they lost 2-0 to Athletic Bilbao. Celtic into the semi-final of the Conference League, beaten on the night at Stamford Bridge by Legia Warsaw, but they won on aggregate. Right, the Lyon goalkeeper Perry is back at his feet. Bruno Fernandes says he's wasting time. Perry throws it out. Whoa, what a throw that is, by the way, up over the halfway line. Header won by Christian Eriksen. The clock says 117, 118 minutes. Who knows what it is in reality, though, with all these stoppages. Bruno Fernandes tries to charge on. Can Manchester United make the extra man count? Casemiro to Luke Shaw, just outside the penalty area, plays it in towards Kobe Mainoo, and one in the air by Clinton Mata, and the Lyon defender tries to clear it away. Lyon, who've given this everything with 10 men, can they hang out? Luke Shaw's delivery, and Mata again. Oh, he's given it to Bruno Fernandes, who shoots wide. Edge of the penalty area, struck him with the outside of the right boot. but it was always bending and curving away from the target. Goal kick to Lyon, who still leads 6-5 on aggregate here at Old Trafford.
They are defending for their lives, Lyon. Gamesmanship, trying to put blocks in, trying to get the ball long down the field. Manchester United that time, Bruno Fernandes on the half volley. It's probably his poorest connection of the night. Comes off the outside of his right boot, his eyes light up just on the edge of the 18-yard box. As you can hear, Lyon goalkeeper's got a goal kick.
And all these delays should in theory be added on in the end. There's an image on our screen now of a young Manchester United in floods of tears. He's crying. Are his team on their way out of Europe? As Fofana plays it forward for Lyon. Anywhere will do for them down the other end. Euro touches it back to Andre Onana. Manchester United against 10 men need a goal here to bring this quarter-final into a penalty shootout. 5 live from the BBC, live on BBC Sounds and BBC Radio Manchester tonight. Old Trafford, which was emptying, appears full again. They have all come back in. Mason Mount on the edge of the penalty area. Back to Diogo Dalot. Now Christian Eriksen. Can he guide a pass? Can he pick out a teammate? Gives it short to Bruno Fernandes, dummies a shot, gives it to Luke Shaw on the left-hand side, wanted to return it to Bruno Fernandes, but Ainsley Maitland-Niles with an important interception for Lyon, clears it away, and Onana's up at the halfway line as Manchester United go for a desperate last press. In terms of regulation time of extra time, there's only a minute to go. Casemiro to Kobe Mainoo, chance to shoot!
Has just come off the place. Everybody's back in and the party's started. What an incredible game. What an incredible comeback from Manchester United. Ruben Amorim dancing up and down the touchline beneath us, and it's from the most unlikeliest of sources. The makeshift number 9, Kobe Mainoo. It's Bruno Fernandes into Casemiro. Casemiro with the daintiest of touches round the corner into Kobe Mainoo. First touch is great. Second touch even better. Third touch, he curls it with the inside of his foot into the inside of the left-hand post. And United have still got 5 minutes.
Manchester United, who needed 2 goals and have scored in stoppages. This is Barcelona 99 stuff here. Kobe Mainoo has come up with a goal that is going to enter the Manchester United annals. A late equaliser for 6-6, and still it's not over. 5 minutes of stoppages. Harry Maguire! Oh my word! Harry Maguire's header makes it 7-6 to Manchester United. Oh my God! They jump into the crowd in celebration, and it's just like York and Solskjaer years ago. 2 goals in stoppages to turn it around. The 10 men of Lyon can't believe what's hit them. Somehow Manchester United have hit them. 7-6.
I've seen nothing like it ever. There's absolute bedlam erupted at Manchester United. There's stewards on the pitch, there's fans on the pitch, there's staff on the pitch, the manager's on the pitch. Andre Onana's doing laps of celebration already. What an incredible finish to the game. It's Harry Maguire, Casemiro with a cross. Harry Maguire from 7 yards out on the angle. He's still got a lot to do, Maguire. He curves it perfectly around Perry in the goal.
It's chaos. The substitutes on the pitch as the spectators been led away by stewards. Rasmus Højlund is punching the air, having been taken off early in the game. Lyon are dumbfounded, down to 10 men. Surely there's no way back for them now. 2 goals in so it's only now that the VAR has actually confirmed that this goal stands. Harry Maguire's header. He did something similar to snatch a draw in Porto in November in this competition. But after Kobe Mainoo had dragged Manchester United level, we thought it could be penalties would be the big prize. Harry Maguire has made it that progression to the semi-final is going to be 5 minutes of stoppages still to play.
Old Trafford hasn't seen scenes like this for many a year. What an incredible finish to this game. Brilliant header by Harry Maguire. The roof has come off. It's absolutely erupted. The scenes inside Old Trafford, reminiscence of years gone by.
We mentioned the close-up of the television monitor of a young Manchester United fan who was crying. I think that was only a minute or two before the goal that we said that. And the television director has picked out that same kid again. And he's got a huge smile on his face and he's cheering. Football, it puts you through the ringer. As Lyon now pump everything forward. They've abandoned defence. United could score again here because Lyon have got to put everything forward. Free kick for Mason Mount near the centre circle. A huge roar from a Manchester United fan base that have been beaten and battered all season. They've been humiliated for so much of this campaign. But some of the old Manchester United pride is coming out tonight because improbably they've scored 2 very late goals here and are on the verge of reaching the semi-final of the Europa League.
Character in abundance. Absolute character in abundance. Where this has been all season from Manchester United, that's another question. But the scenes inside Old Trafford are something else. Absolutely phenomenal from the home side. The performance to get themselves back into this game, get themselves ahead, 2-0 lead, lose it, go 4-2 down to come back to look like they're going to win this. 5-4. Scenes on the television with the goalkeeper and Ruben Amorim hugging deep embrace after that 5th goal went in. What scenes here inside Old Trafford.
It's incredible. Harry Maguire, who slid on his knees to the corner flag, having been put up to play centre forward. That's what he was put there to do. This wasn't by accident. That's what the plan was. And incredibly, the plan worked. 7-6 to Manchester United. We're in the 5th minute of stoppage. Heaven knows what's going to be added on, though, because there were long delays after the goal. It was pandemonium in here. It still is. Manchester United have done this incredibly difficultly, but they are doing it, unless Lyon have some late cruel twist up their sleeve here. Thiago Almada to Clinton Mata. Now Manchester United are back defending. The supporters are whistling and jeering. They want to hear the final whistle, but there's still a few minutes to go. Mata over to Thiago Almada. Are the footballing gods going to put another sprinkle of drama into the proceedings here? Mata's got to get it forward. He gives it to Tessman. 7-6 Manchester United lead on a night of bedlam at Old Trafford as Dallo regains possession. Plays it off Abner Vinicius. Out it goes for a goal kick. And suddenly Manchester United are the ones who want to waste time as Harry Maguire goes down. And I've never seen so many people on their feet in a technical area. Substitutes, physios, backroom staff, stewards who know there's going to be a pitch invasion. Manchester United fans trying to get down close to it. An incredible night at a stadium that has seen so much incredible drama over the years. And in a season in which there's been so much talk of Manchester United moving to a new modern stadium on this side to the future, well, tonight this Old Trafford is showing that the old girl still has a bit of magic about her tonight.
An outburst of emotion, an outburst of passion from these Manchester United fans. These Manchester United fans have been starved of this. They've been starved of it for too long, in their opinion, and they've certainly been starved of it for this season. But what a performance, full of character, attitude, application from the Manchester United team tonight.
The Bruno Fernandes penalty. The Kobe Mainu equaliser. The Harry Maguire header that he hopes is a winner. As Luke Shaw wins a header, Lacazette for Lyon tried to get it, but Eriksson is back there to clear. And now it's 3-on-3. Bruno Fernandes sets off for the corner flag. Tessman tries to come back. Now Bruno Fernandes veers in field. Manchester United just need to keep the ball here. Keep their heads. As Bruno Fernandes gives it to Dallo on the right-hand side, and he's fouled by Fofana. And it's a free kick to Manchester United. And the clock continues to tick on. And we're in the 127th minute of the game. And it's a free kick. And the roars of Bruno from the Old Trafford crowd to Bruno Fernandes, with Manchester United on the cusp of a famous win here. 7-6, Paul Robinson.
You just run out of superlatives. You really do. A game with so many subplots.
The final whistle blows, and Manchester United, who scored 3 goals in 7 minutes at the end there, 3 goals in 7 minutes. Bruno Fernandes, Kobbie Mainoo, Harry Maguire, and somehow Ruben Amorim, who had been 2-0 down going into the final stages of extra time, has suddenly got himself a place in the Europa League semi-final. Manchester United can still get a trophy this season. They can still make it to the Champions League next year. Crazy, Paul Robinson, absolutely crazy.
A special night at Old Trafford, really was. I don't think I've ever seen a game like that. Absolute scenes here. The celebrations, the players on the pitch, Ruben Amorim coolly making his way off down the tunnel. The way that Manchester United got back in that game, they looked dead and buried. Numerous occasions when they lost that 2-goal lead, you felt for them. We were talking about the susceptibility, how brittle they were, how low on confidence they were, how poor they've been all season. Not seen that performance all season, not seen that character from them all season. The superlatives, you run out of them. That was an unbelievable football game to watch. Honestly, just wow for what we've just seen.
You never know what you're going to get in football, and this Manchester United team, who, let's be fair, at times this season have stanked the place out. They have been criticised, they've been humiliated, they've been booed and cheered by their own supporters at times. But tonight, as football tends to do, some redemption has improbably been offered up. Lyon can't believe this. They can't believe it's been snatched away from them. They've produced heroics of their own. 2 goals with 10 men in stoppages to hold that 2-goal advantage going into the 114th minute of the game. But Bruno Fernandes' penalty reduced the deficit. Kobbie Mainoo equalised, and within a minute, Harry Maguire, playing centre forward, headed what proved to be the winning goal as Manchester United go marching on to the Europa League semi-final. Fiction could not get anywhere near the fact we've seen tonight. It's all over here. It's finished 7-6 on aggregate.
Conor McNamara and Paul Robinson at Old Trafford for us. We're also joined by Rennie Mullenstein and Andros Townsend. Rennie, of course, assistant coach to Sir Alex Ferguson in his time at Manchester United. And I think it's his phrase that sums that match up best, which is football, bloody hell.
Oh my God, Kelly. I mean, you know, how many emotions do you have to go through? You know, Man United, they were down and out. Credit where credit is due with Amorim, because he had to do something, and he puts Harry Maguire up front. And really against, you know, the run of play, Lyon gets 4-2 up with a penalty. You think that's it. And then straight away, when Casemiro got that penalty, that gave United again the belief to keep going. And you could see Lyon starting to crumble, but credit to the way that Kobbie took his goal and how Maguire took his goal. Amazing, absolutely amazing.
I mean, it's not a game really that needs analysis or even merits analysis. But yeah. I'm just wondering, did they finish with a front two of Maguire and Kobbie Mainoo?
Yes, yep. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And but then again, it's all making sure that you still get the quality balls in the box. You know, the little combination between Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, and then set up Kobbie Mainoo. That's the quality you need. The delivery into Maguire's, you know, header, and he guided in perfectly you know, across the goalkeeper in the back post. That's what you need. But you know, you can stop. Everybody walks away though in disbelief. I think even Amorim couldn't get quick enough into the dressing room just to sit there and think to himself, what's just happened?
4-4 on 120 minutes, 5-4 on the night on 120 plus 1. Andros, sometimes it justifies logic. Andros, your microphone's not working. I think you've just got overexcited about the whole thing.
Yeah, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, no. Lyon scored the 4th goal. My mind's going crazy. I'm thinking, like, what's the fallout going to be? How can United come back from this? How can Amorim come back from this? 10 men and you're losing in extra time. But, nah, Man United did what Man United did. Old Trafford got behind the team. And it was absolutely, it was actually magical watching those 3 goals go in the last few minutes. It was special.
Conor, any sign of those Man United players leaving the pitch?
Well, there's still a few of them out doing television interviews. It's funny, Paul mentioned 2-0 down in stoppage time. So many Man United fans were leaving for the exits. Now it's like they don't want to leave. They want the selfies, the pictures to send to their friends. I was there the night that crazy comeback when Harry Maguire scored Man United's 7th goal of the tie to win it at the death. On a night when they seem to be going out, and Paul said we've got to go down the second-hand superlative shop tomorrow because we ran out of these a long time ago. That was absolutely bonkers. But yeah, Harry Maguire's out there beaming from ear to ear. Kobbie Mainoo's out there. They finish as the makeshift strike force. Poor old Rasmus Højlund and the injured Joshua Zirkzee will be looking at themselves. They've played up front all season and have struggled to score. Mainoo and Maguire have become the new strike force for successful Manchester United victory tonight.
Connor, you said when Lyon scored 4-2, they say they played this game like a classical violin. Yes. They hit every note. They hit every note perfectly. What happened with the violin?
Twang, twang. I think all the strings of the just went twang.
There'll be a few Manchester United fans playing a tiny violin for Lyon this evening after that defeat at the hands of Manchester United. I'm just watching Harry Maguire do some television interviews, as is Kobbie Mainoo. Maguire sort of starting to take on the elder statesman role and starting to kind of look ahead to the semi-final. Kobbie Mainoo just looks absolutely stunned by what he's just witnessed at Old Trafford. And sometimes, Paul, you get a sense inside a ground that momentum is shifting, but with a 2-goal deficit going into the 114th minute, which is when Bruno Fernandes scored the penalty, it didn't feel like that was coming for Manchester United.
No, and when they got themselves back into the game, Lyon at 2-2, it certainly looked like there was only going to be one winner of the game, the way that Manchester United were dropping off. And even when Lyon went down to 10 men in the first period of extra time and they got that goal, it was almost incredible to think from that point on that Manchester United could come back the way that they did. And as Connor said, this place has seen some special European nights over the years and some special Premier League nights over the years, and these fans have been starved of it. They've not seen a lot this season, and they've not seen a lot in recent years, and the outpouring of emotion and celebration, it was something to behold, the celebrations inside Old Trafford, that, by the way, are still going on.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be leaving for a while yet. The stewards are going to be really struggling to get those Manchester United fans out of the ground. But do you know that there are moments in that game, Rene, where we saw what this Manchester United are capable of, for good and for bad. We saw when they're focused, when they're determined, when they're driven, when they use the crowd and use that momentum, how effective they can be, but also how easily it can slip away.
Unbelievable. The first half, it was brilliant. Very good. Great intent. There was hunger. There was a good tactical execution of the plan. They get the noses in front. They score 2 good goals. And you think, listen, they will be cruising through. And then suddenly, it slips away. And it shows their, the fragility throughout the whole of the second half. And then, again, they have to rise themselves up, Yeah, it typifies this Manchester United season so far, big time.
But what happened, Rennie? Because I had one eye on the Spurs game, and at half time I thought United had this wrapped up, and then all of a sudden it was a completely different Man United side that came out in the second half. What was the change?
Well, I think, the biggest problem is that when you go into that game with a confident 2-0 lead and you think to yourself, well, let's just manage the game, it's all that you take the foot a bit off the pedal, because I think they lost a little bit of intensity in terms of, closing Lyon down, and they're giving too easy possession and too easy situations to get up to the pitch. And as soon as when that first goal went in, you saw really the Man United, what we've seen so often in the Premier League as well.
I mentioned that Harry Maguire and Kobbie Mainoo have been down doing their TV interviews. Harry Maguire said, "We made really hard work of it," which, yes, they definitely did. Even in the second half, he said we had chances to go 3-0 up, 4-2 down in extra time. Nowhere near good enough. We opened ourselves up too much, but we dug in, showed great spirit, and he said that's what this stadium does. And then Kobbie Mainoo talking about what an amazing comeback it was. He said, "I tried to carry the energy and feed off the rest of the players." And then he talks about that goal that he scored. His was the goal that made it 4-4. He said, "When the ball drops to you there, a yard feels like a mile. You've just got to remain calm and slot it, and that's what I did. And he talks about the win bringing momentum. He said, we're rolling the snowball, it's getting bigger and bigger, and we want to go all the way. And that's what they need to do here, Rene. This is not this can't be a one-off result for Manchester United at the quarter-final stage. They're just maybe 3 games away now from lifting European silverware at the end of the season and qualifying for the Champions League.
Absolutely, and they're going to play Bode Glimt, I believe, because they got through on penalties with Lazio. They scored a late goal, so there's been plenty of drama there. But the one thing what those games do, and what you need to draw from it, is you need to look back with the team and Amorim with the staff and draw all the good things out of it in terms of everything that was good about this game. You know, don't focus too much about the negatives that we've had. But listen, guys, this is what we want to see in week out. Every performance. You got 2 more games to get into the final against Bode Glimt, which, again, like Robert said rightly...
I think Bode Glimt have Spurs. Man United have got Bilbao, I think, Rene. But it's definitely Bode Glimt through. They've gone through on penalties.
They've gone through, but if that's
Spurs.
If that's the case. But still then, use all that positivity that what you've drawn from this game. All the positive things in terms of, you know, the work rate. But this game turned out to be a spectacle that, you know, you get so often at certain times in certain leagues and things. But again, the other semi-final will be a completely different game again. You know, and again, we don't know what we're going to get at times.
I'm just wondering, I mean, we talk about nobody wanting to leave that stadium at Manchester United. I just wonder, Paul, having been there and having witnessed it and having seen how much the players drew on that energy from the crowd, they've both mentioned it, Harry Maguire and Kobbie Mainoo. If that is the kind of thing that can carry them through to the end of this competition, I mean, maybe not even in the league games, or of course they'll want those performances and those results to come as well, but can it carry them all the way, do you think?
Listen, the league games are irrelevant for Manchester United. You know, they're sat, they're 14th in the Premier League at the moment, 17 points off 6th place, 17 points off Ipswich. They're not going anywhere in the league this season, Manchester United. It's been a poor campaign for them, but nights like tonight, he's got to put everything into this Europa League now. I think we saw that tonight. He said that himself before the game. He even said it in his programme notes tonight, reading his programme, emphasised the importance of this game and how the progression in this Europa League, because it gives them the Champions League, gives them the opportunity of the Champions League football next season, and also a trophy. And I think he's got to focus on that. But you're right with the league results. The league results are not important, but it's the performances around the Europa League games. I've never seen an atmosphere in recent times like that in Old Trafford tonight. The way that the supporters played their part, it's hard as a player not to draw on that. It feeds, it's infectious, in the same way as a negative attitude feeds down onto the pitch as well. Because when you're not playing well, with Manchester United are not playing well, if a ball goes astray or a misplaced pass, all of a sudden, moans and groans after 20 minutes. That anxiety filters down onto the pitch. So players feed off both negative and positive energy, but there was only positive energy in that stadium tonight.
One of the players who celebrated most energetically and celebrated with his manager Ruben Amorim was Andre Onana, and I want to ask you about him, Paul, because we talked about him so much before the game and how much pressure there was on him. And this might be an odd question for a goalkeeper who's just conceded 4 goals over 120 minutes, but he actually played well and made some good saves in the game.
Yeah, he played okay, but he had a decent game tonight. The spotlight was obviously going to be on him, and every goal that he does concede now is scrutinised. But if you ever meet Andre Onana, he's such a fun-loving character, and he's a great bloke. I don't know if you've ever spent time in his company. He's very, very hard to dislike him. So when you're not criticising on a personal level, you're criticising on a professional level and on performance, and you actually really wanted him to play well tonight, and he did that tonight. The thing that you could have asked for him would have been just a quiet game, slip under the radar, get back into that number 1 slot, and go unnoticed tonight, and that's exactly what he did. He did that in the same time as making some really good saves, and he played his part in the Manchester United victory tonight. And you could see the release of emotion from him as well when the goals went in, and the big hug with his manager at the end was like, okay, friends again, let's move on.
Yes, it's all water under the bridge. Everybody's friends after a victory like that one. Andros, I know you were focusing a lot on the Frankfurt game against Tottenham, who are also through to the semi-finals of the Europa League in much less dramatic circumstances. But we now know that we have those teams in there. We now know who the opponents will be for both Manchester United and for Tottenham. Do you think from what you've seen of the Europa League so far this season that Manchester United or Tottenham could go all the way in this competition?
You know what? It'd be the most Spursy thing ever to get to the semi-final of the Europa League and lose to, what is it, Bodo Glimt?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to put them down too much, but yeah, Spurs, they have to win that. Surely they have to get into the final. I'm a little bit excited, but yeah, there's a long way to go. Obviously, to get to the semi-final for them to beat Lazio over 2 legs, it's not an easy thing. So I'm sure it's going to be a difficult couple of games.
Yeah, it could potentially be difficult, but for now, Manchester United are celebrating reaching the semi-finals of the Europa League, and this is the goal that won it.
Still it's not over. 5 minutes of stoppages. Harry Maguire! Oh my word! Harry Maguire's header makes it 7-6 to Manchester United. Oh my God! They jump into the crowd in celebration, and it's just like York and Solskjaer all those years ago. 2 goals in stoppages to turn it around. The 10 men of Lyon can't believe what's hit them. Somehow Manchester United have hit them. 7-6.
Connor, honey and lemon for you tonight?
I think puberty, perhaps. I'm hoping for the voice to break after that screech. Oh,
listen, if
dear.
anything's going to cause
hear
your
your
voice
own
to
voice
break,
played back to you, Kelly, as you well know. Yeah.
but look, if anything is going to cause your voice to break, it's going to be excitement of the kind that you witnessed at Old Trafford this evening. Thank you so much, Connor and Paul. Great job at Old Trafford, and thank you so much as well to Rene and to Andros as well. That is all from tonight's 5 Live Sport. I don't know if anybody's going to sleep after that. More reaction to tonight's Europa League action on the Football Daily podcast. That's going to be available to download very shortly from BBC Sounds. But next up on 5 Live, it's Tony Livesey. Tony, we've cut into your time, but understandable.
No, everyone, well, the Man United fans in this building were going nuts, Kelly. It's given me something to play with on my box now. I've got listeners with dogs complaining already. Brilliant stuff, Kelly, tonight. I mean, that is what football can do to you, eh? What an amazing night at Old Trafford.
Imagine not loving sport.
I know. Hey, and the funny thing is, normally, tonight I'm due to, he is here. Mark Summers, who's the voice of Radio Cambridgeshire, he normally gets sent out to interview people about piano concertos. I've sent him out. He's on the piazza outside this building, hijacking United fans on the way back to the car park.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Be a slightly different crowd, I'd imagine.
Yeah, well, he wasn't. We were sending him out whatever happened. He wasn't happy half an hour ago, I can tell you, but he's gonna have good fun tonight. Yeah, thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Tony.